A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Jerry, at Fair Oaks.
Open the door and see if everybody's out of the washroom. Tubby and Harold should have been here long ago.
Okay.
Why so slowly?
Oh, this whole thing has got me so shaky, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I thought it was after taps already.
Well, is there anyone in the washroom?
No, I don't think so, Lee.
Better close the door, then. We don't want to arouse any suspicion.
I'll say, especially after Captain Bogart caught Harold.
I wish they'd get here. I want to find out just what the captain said to Harold.
He told us all there was to tell.
No, I don't think he did. He was afraid to talk in the hallway.
Well, there'll be a hot time in the old town tonight if Captain Bogart knows that we're going to try to do.
Now I'm getting nervous. What did you have to say that for?
Well, it's true. How long ago did Tattoo sound?
I don't know. Waiting like this makes you lose all idea of time. Seems like I heard that 2 hours ago.
Imagine waiting for taps. Any other time, we'd be wishing it wouldn't sound.
You said something then. Many a time I've been reading a book and at the same time hoping the bugler couldn't find his bugle.
Now, I can understand what you mean. It must be awful to be reading a real exciting story, and when you get to the most important part, taps sound. And you have to turn off the lights.
Well, but it always happens that way. And when you've got just about one more paragraph to find out who stole the pearls.
Ain't it the truth?
Say, maybe Tubby and Harold decided to wait until after taps to come down here.
Maybe.
But if they wait too long, they may not get a chance to get out of their room. Say, my watch is in the drawer there. See what time it is, will you?
The top drawer?
Mm-hmm. It's right there under my handkerchiefs.
Where? Oh, I've got it.
What time is it?
Exactly 1:30.
Come on, quit kidding me. What time is it, Jerry?
1:30. That's what your watch says.
Well, again, it happened.
What happened?
I forgot to wind my watch last night. Well, it can't be long before taps now. It just can't be. It's been days since Tattoo came in. Tick, 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 tick. Minutes, 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 minutes. What's the matter with you?
Well, what's the matter with me? What's the matter with me, he's asking. Do you feel all right, Lee, my lad?
I don't know if I do or not. I'll admit I've got the jitters.
You're telling me. Say, if we feel this way already, how are we going to feel when we get out to the powerhouse? And say, wait a minute. I'm the one who's supposed to have the jitters. I'm the one that's going to paint the stack.
Are we going to have to argue now about who has the better right to have the jitters?
Oh, let's forget it. Why get ourselves excited over nothing?
Who's excited? I'm certainly not. And besides, don't say over nothing. Painting the stack is one of the most important things you can do in your freshman year at Fair Oaks.
Okay.
Well, welcome. I thought you fellas would never get here.
The OD's right behind us. Quick, where we hide?
The OD.
Quick, under the bed.
Yeah,
under the bed.
Ouch, my shin.
Quiet.
Oh.
Sit down, Jerry. Grab a book or something.
Yeah, a book. Yeah, I've got one here. Sit down, too.
Oh, what a night.
What's all the commotion? Everything in order here?
Yes, sir.
I heard someone yell ouch and loud.
Oh, no, sir.
What?
I mean, yes, sir.
Who was it, you?
It was me, sir. I bumped my crazy bone on the arm of the chair.
You must have bumped it awful hard, Dugan. Maybe you better go see Dr. Campbell.
Oh, it's nothing, sir.
Next time, hold that yell down. You're not out in the wide open spaces. The other cadets here in Hayward Hall.
Yes, sir.
Better prepare for bed. Taps will be coming in any minute now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, kids, come on. He's gone.
I'll never be the same.
Oh, just as we started down the hall, I heard the OD coming down the stairs. I didn't know if he saw us or not.
Not so loud.
Boy, was that a close call. Almost 2 times in one night for me.
Say, by the way, you didn't tell us all the captain said to you when he caught you coming out of Captain Rowland's room.
Sure I did. He just said he thought he knew what it was all about.
And that he knew who the other cadets were that you were talking to.
Uh-huh. But he met in the hallway just before we came into the study hall.
Well, think now. You're sure that's all he said?
Sure.
You said something about telling your friends. What was that? I didn't get it.
Oh, yes. He said to tell my friends I got caught. They'd be glad to know.
I wonder if he has any idea that we're going to try to paint the stack tonight.
No, forget it. If he did, he'd look into it before this.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Well, there's Taps.
Turn the lights out, Harold.
Okay.
Hey, when do we go? I want to get this over with.
Wait till things settle down a little.
Oh, come on. Let's get going.
Shh, wait. I've got my ear to the door and I can hear footsteps.
It's the OD on his first rounds.
He's going down the hall to the stairway. Quiet now. I'm going to open the door a little. He's going upstairs. If we're ready, now's our chance.
Come on, then. We're ready. On tiptoes. Hey, you close the door behind us, Tubby.
Okay, I got it.
Shh, yourself.
If ever in your life you held a sneeze, hold that one.
False alarm.
Hey, go a little faster.
We're almost out now. Take it easy.
Better make sure no one is out in the quad before we bounce out the door.
Hey, we better go out the back door and take the path around the back of the gym.
Yeah, good idea.
Why wasn't I born with brains instead of looks?
That is a good idea, Lee.
Okay, quiet now. I'll have to open this door quietly.
Want a hand?
Oh, he's got a hand. 2 of them.
I'm the guy that makes the wisecracks.
Quiet, I said. Careful now going through this door.
Can we talk loud now?
No, not yet. Wait till we get through the gate and away from the door.
Hey, hurry it up now.
Shh, don't use a normal voice yet. We're not out of earshot.
Come on now, let's run for it.
Okay, let's go.
Don't you fellas run too fast now, or I won't be able to keep up with you.
Yeah, hold it down for Harold.
Hey, it's a good thing there isn't a full moon tonight.
Yes, that is lucky. There's just enough moonlight for you to work by. You scared now?
The worst part's over now. The painting will be a cinch.
What do you mean the worst part's over?
I mean getting out of the building.
Oh, yeah? How about getting back in now?
Hey, I never thought of that.
Well, let's worry about one thing at a time, Jerry. Coming, Harold?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Listen, we'll rest when we get to the west side of the gym by those trees.
Well, here's the trees. Let's take it easy now.
Yeah, we can go slower, but we better keep going. Don't forget, we've got to get back in bed before the OD makes his next round.
Yeah, that's right, we do.
Sure, because he looks in the rooms on his second time around.
Maybe we should have put our laundry bags under our blankets so we'd think we were in bed.
You must have been going to the movies again. Any old time that would fool an OD.
Wait! Hey, look it. There's a light in Captain Gardner's apartment in the instructor's cottage.
Yes, sir, you're right.
Well, what of it? You don't think he's looking out the window?
He couldn't see us if he did. It's too dark out here.
Well, stay as close as you can to these trees now.
Wow, what was that?
Oh, that was an owl up there in the tree.
An owl? He ought to know better than that. Owls are supposed to be wise, but popping off at a time like this isn't very smart.
Hey, come on, fellas, hurry it up. We're out in the clear now. We better run for it. We'll be right in that path of light coming from Captain Gardner's living room.
Hey, wait a minute. The front door's opening.
Well, come on, then. Let's run around back and keep running. Right over there in that last bunch of bushes on the edge of the parade ground.
That was Captain Bogart. He stepped out on the porch for a second, but he went right back in again.
Oh, that's lucky. Gee, it would be tough if he caught us. Where's Harold?
I'm coming.
Well, we're almost there now. Tubby, listen, you run over and get the paint and brush. You know where you hid them.
Okay, I'll meet you over by the ladder on the other side of the powerhouse.
Okay.
Hurry it up. Boy, look at that smokestack. Gee, it's a shame to smear it all up with paint. It looks so nice and clean.
I'll bet you just hate to paint it.
Oh, I sure do. It's breaking my heart.
I'll bet it is.
Hey, it's not here. The paint's gone.
What? You sure?
Yep, it's gone.
Oh, that's swell after all this trouble. Now what?
Oh, I found it.
Oh.
I got it
Oh,
now.
I'll bet he was just fooling us.
I guess I forgot which bush I hid it in. Here you are, Jerry.
Well, here, I'll take the paint. You go ahead and climb up, Jerry.
Okay. Well, here I go. Wish me luck. Hooray for Dugan.
Here, Tubby, you better take the paint till I get up a ways, and then you can hand it to me.
Got it. Go ahead.
Boy, this is getting high.
Keep going. Don't look back. All right, I'll take the paint now. Stand on that first rung and hand it to me.
Okay, here you are.
Let go of the handle.
Wait, here's the brush, too.
I'm up. Come on, Lee.
All right, I'm right behind you. Kind of tough going with one hand. Here, I'll hand the paint to you. Got it?
Okay. Here, I'll help you up.
Hurry up now. Here's the ladder for the stack. Give me a lift.
It's clean. Okay, now I'll take the lid off the paint can. Well, here I go.
You don't have to be careful about the letters. Just make them big and work fast.
Okay.
I'll go on down now and stand by to give you warning with the other fellas.
Here goes the F.
That's swell.
How is it?
Good, Jerry.
Now the M. Is that big enough, Lee?
Fine, yeah.
I ought to do this for a living. I'm good at it. Now the A. Maybe I ought to sign my name to it. There. All done. Good job at that. Here I come down. Hey, Lee. Come on, help me down this ladder. Lee. Hey, where are you? Come on now, quit kidding. Lee, Tubby, Harold, where are you guys? Hey, where are you? Come on, answer me.
Good evening, Dugan.
Captain Bogart.
Nice job of lettering you did on that stack, Dugan.
Yes, sir.
Too bad you're going to have to go right back up there and clean it off.
No, sir. Well, can it stay until tomorrow? Till the upperclassmen see it? Please, sir.
You've gotten into the spirit of the traditions here at Fair Oaks, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, it would be a shame not to be able to show that work of art. Yes, we'll let it stay until tomorrow. But tomorrow, during dress parade, when Major Davis and his Army friends are reviewing, I want you to be up on that ladder cleaning off those letters.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Get back to your room now and get to bed. I'll talk to you more about this tomorrow.
and its 98,000 dealers bring you Mr. Elliot Lewis in tonight's presentation of Suspense. Tonight, Autolite presents a story of revenge. The desperate effort of a murderer to destroy the man who had committed him to prison. The story is called Concerto for Killer and Eyewitnesses. Our star, the producer-director of Suspense, Mr. Elliot Lewis.
Hello, Harlow.
Goodbye, Hap.
Goodbye.
Why, sure, Hap. This is our last show till fall. The last chance to talk about that great Autolite Stay Full, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
It's a great battery, Harlow, and just a battery to make every summer trip happier than ever.
Why, Hap, the Autolite Stay Full is a natural for every season of the year. It has fiberglass retaining mats protecting every positive plate to reduce shedding and flaking. And it gives longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
The Autolite Stay Full is the battery for me, Harlow.
So, friends, see your neighborhood Autolite battery dealer soon. He services all makes of batteries, and when replacements are needed, he has an Autolite Stay Full for your car. To quickly find his location, just call Western Union by number...
And ask for Operator 25. That's me, and I'll gladly tell you the location of your nearest Autolite battery dealer.
Where you can get an Autolite Stay Full, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite. And now, with the performance of Mr. Elliot Lewis, Autolite presents transcribed Concerto for Killer and Eyewitnesses, hoping once again to keep you in suspense.
My name's Jesse Crandall, Detective Sergeant, Central Division, Chicago Police Department. I was assigned to a special detail along with Detective Sergeant Abe Delaney on the first day of this week. Our duty was to escort prisoner Edward Sitko to the state penitentiary at Joliet, where he was to await execution. Our train left the main terminal at 5 in the afternoon. We all took prescribed precautions. The prisoner was securely handcuffed to both of us. He was wearing county jail-issue clothing, no hat.
You guys have to walk me through the station?
For a fellow who doesn't care who he kills, you're pretty touchy, Sitko.
I got all the opinions I want in the judge copy. You're just supposed to see I get some.
All right, that's enough, Sitko.
We'll see that you get there, Eddie boy, all safe and sound and ready for the chair.
Tell us punk to shut up. Tell him to shut up.
I'm the last copper you'll ever call a punk, Sitko. Now keep looking tough.
Lay off him, Delaney, will you?
Oh, sure, Jesse, sure. Sitko.
Yeah.
How come you're so stupid, Sitko? How come you trusted Dallas Kenyon when nobody else did?
I never trusted anybody, ever.
If you didn't trust him, Sitko, how come he knew who you killed, where you killed, when you did it?
Car 64, compartment A.
This car, sir, second door to the right. Watch your steps, sir.
Thank you. Come on. Hey, here it is, A14.
The taxpayers wanted to be sure you got only the best. Did your boy Kenyon ever treat you...
Shut up about Kenyon.
Look, Eddie, it's too late to be tough.
Yeah, Eddie. You should have been tough with Dallas Kenyon instead of that two-bit hood he sent you out after. You killed the wrong guy, Eddie.
I'm not dead yet. Maybe I'll still get the right one.
Gonna write him a poison pen letter? It's too late, Sitko. You killed a man. Now you're gonna pay for it.
Dinner now being served in a dining car. Dinner now being served in a dining car. Place call for dinner. Place call for dinner. Place call for dinner.
Oh, I'll get a bite now. Jesse, key.
No. Here you
Thanks. want me to bring you back a newspaper, sicko?
Nothing in them I want to read.
First guy I ever took up to the death cell who didn't want to read his own publicity.
Sergeant Delaney was in the dining car as we pulled out into the outer yards. That's when the train lurched forward. I went off balance for a moment. Sitko threw his weight on me, and we crashed to the floor.
This is where I got off, copper.
He brought his knee up into my face.
One for you.
I was momentarily stunned. He went through my pockets, found the keys, and unlocked the handcuffs. Sergeant Delaney returned at that moment. Sitko slammed against the door, locking it. And then he struck me across the temple with the handcuffs.
One for your friend. Open up. Open up, or I'll shoot.
Before I lost consciousness, I saw Eddie Sitko open the train window and jump.
I was in my room praying for him. I hoped a little prayer would do for him what he'd never been able to do for himself. It was ambulance time, 6 o'clock, when I heard him on the stairway outside my door. Yeah?
Let me in.
What are you doing here?
What's the matter? Does you like to see me? First time in my life I've been glad the trains run through this lousy, dirty neighborhood.
No, I don't understand.
Dallas Kenyon. He's waiting for me. He don't know it, but he's waiting. And I'm going to be there. I need some clothes, money, a gun.
Kenyon? Oh, Kenyon. You're going to kill again.
Where are my clothes?
Get out of here, Eddie.
What?
Get out. I got nothing of yours. I gave all your things to the neighbors, to the boys in the block. I thought they'd need some warm clothes to wear. They fought over them, and they tore them to shreds. They wanted souvenirs. They're growing up like you, because they think you're a man. They think you're somebody. You who cheated and robbed and murdered.
What do you mean by that?
You ruin everything you touch.
You shut up. Come on, give me some money. Give me some money.
I got nothing. Nothing. Go away. Leave me alone.
Go away, huh? I walk out that door and you yell copper, huh?
Why don't you kill me then, Eddie? Come on, kill me. No, because you already killed me, Eddie. 15 years ago.
I've operated a legitimate business. 15 years, and nothing like this has ever happened to me. It's very frightening that such a thing should occur in a large city like Chicago. Very frightening. I read the newspapers, and I know all about Eddie Cisco. I read about his threats against this man, Dallas Kenyon, and all that, but I never thought that I, George Bartlett, would ever meet the man. What?
Back inside.
Well, it's 6:30. Time to close.
I said back inside. I'm warning you, don't yell. Don't do anything.
Yeah, I don't want to yell. What do I want to yell and get killed for?
Where are your guns? Where are your guns?
The guns?
Every hot shop has guns. Where are they?
A gun? Oh, what's a fellow sticking up a store?
Where are your guns?
Sitko. Eddie Sitko. I saw your pictures in the paper.
Shut up.
Over there in the case. Yeah, that case. All the guns you want, all of them. Anything here, it's yours. Take all of it, but please leave me alone. Please, let me alone.
Cartridges?
On your right. Second drawer. It's all yours. Please, just let me alone.
I gotta change clothes.
On the rack. There. On the rack, there. You can see I'm trying to help you. Can't you see that?
Yeah, this'll do.
Yes, it'll fit nice. It's nice in the shoulders. I know it'll fit.
Yeah. Pull those shades.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You expecting anybody?
A friend of mine, Albert Hennessy. He runs the barber shop 2 doors down. We have beer sometimes after work. But if he comes, I'll send him away. I want to help you. Honest, I hate to see anybody get a raw deal. And that man you talked about during your trial at Dallas Canyon, he gave you a bad deal. I'm sure he gave you a bad deal. Did you hear me? I said I hate to see anybody get a raw deal, and that Dallas Canyon...
Yeah, this suit'll do.
It fits perfectly, like it was made just for you. I helped you, didn't I? I believe in giving a man a chance. I'm a little man. I can't hurt you. Kenyon, he's the one you want. That's right, yes. You need money. Here, take it, all of it. Anything. Please, just take it. You might need it if you have far to go, and Oh, my car! You can trust me. Please, Mr. Sitko.
I don't trust.
No. I'm a grown man. Please don't beat me up. It's humiliating for a grown man to cry. Don't beat me up. Please don't. Everybody ought to give a little man a break.
I'll give you a break, little man.
No, please. No.
You just got your break.
Kenny Tate, licensed operator, City of Chicago. You'll see a front and side of me right by the meter. I never go under and I never go over. And I never make wrong change. I never roll drunks. It's a job. It helps you to learn people. That's what I said, learn people. You can tell a lot by the way a woman lights a cigarette or a man reaches to pay his fare. I was just cruising when I saw Eddie Sitko. I didn't know it was him at first.
Cam! Hey, Cam!
Straight ahead. I'll tell you when to turn.
Right? Swell night, isn't it? Want the radio on?
No. Turn right, next corner.
Yeah, sure.
Come on, get this going faster.
Not tonight. I've never seen so many cops floating around.
Never mind the tickets.
Never mind who'll pay for
I'll pay. Let's get moving.
That's what they all say. Like just last week.
I said I'd pay for them. Move.
Yeah, trying to make the fights?
What?
I said trying to make the fights.
Fight? Yeah, I want to make the fights.
Oh, well then. You'll just make it. Start at 8:30.
Turn here.
Huh?
Turn here.
Thought you wanted to go to the fight. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll circle back on the next corner. It won't cost you nothing. I'll pull down the flag. Hey, would you look at that? Second squad car in a block. Wonder what's up. Wonder if they're looking for somebody.
What are you stopping for?
The signal, mister. It's red. Can't make a right turn in the downtown district against the stop signal.
It says go. Start fast. What are you doing? Don't turn left.
Please, Eddie Sitko's in my car.
Are you lousy?
Hey, you! Come back here! Come back here! Stop, what I'll do! Stop!
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Elliot Lewis in Concerto for Killer and Eyewitnesses. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Say, Harlow, before we go on vacation, I've got a question.
All right, shoot, Hap.
Does the Autolite Stay Full battery really have everything?
You bet it does, Hap, including fiberglass retaining mats to reduce shedding and flaking. and give the Autolite Stay Full longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
But doesn't the Autolite Stay Full need something, Harlow?
Well, yes, it does, Hap. It needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
Only 3 times a year in normal car use, Harlow?
Yes, Hap, only 3 times a year in normal car use. So, friends, visit your nearest Autolite battery dealer. He services all makes of batteries and has an Autolite Stay Full for your car. To quickly learn his location, call Western Union by number.
And as for me, operator 25, I'll quickly tell you the location of your nearest Autolite battery dealer.
Where you can get an Autolite Stay Full, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Elliot Lewis in his production of Concerto for Killer and Eyewitnesses, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
And next, ladies and gentlemen, number 18 in your catalog. This beautiful neat-type bus. Put it up under the light, boys. And turn it for the folks. That's right. Now, can we start the bidding at $60? Do I hear $60? $50? Do I hear $50? All right, then, $45. Do I hear $45? I tell you, folks, it's worth your life getting anything sold here tonight. Now, look at this box. Now,
Can I help you, officer?
Anybody
coming here in the last 10 minutes?
Well, a lot of people. The auction's just starting.
A tall man, heavy build. Maybe had a bullet wound. Limp, maybe.
Bullet wound? No, we haven't seen anyone like that.
He's Eddie Sitcom. He's dangerous. If you see him, notify the police.
All right, I'm sorry. Then we'll have to pass it. Take it away, boys. Handle it easy now.
Get out. Get out of my way. Come on, out of my way. What? Get out of my way.
Cougat's great. Great! I seen him once when he was at the Roxy, and Oh, yeah. Well, it was just a night like any other night. I'm the elevator boy. The regular clerk's across the street dipping his bill. So I'm having myself a ball. I got a little routine that somebody's going to pay money for someday, and that's what I was doing when he walks in. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, the window sheet is broken, and the rain is coming in. Hiya.
Kitty Bennell still lives here?
Yeah, 108. But she's not in. She's always out. I wish I could go out. These night jobs are lousy. You friend of hers?
Yeah.
Boy, I wish I was a friend of hers. Some bish. She a dancer?
Singer. Nightclubs. And look,
nightclubs? I like nightclubs. Not big spreads, jive joints. Most people don't like them anymore. Me, I like them.
Look, I want to wait in her apartment.
Wait in her apartment? Oh, gee, I don't know.
No, she knows me. I'm her agent.
Well, I'm not supposed to, buddy, and I haven't seen you around.
Right, up and out of town. I'm her agent. I've been booking her.
Agent? Yeah? You've been booking her, huh? Hey, you handle any bands?
Well, yeah, sure. Lots of bands. Take me up, huh?
You know Stan Kenton?
Yeah. Know him well.
Yeah? Introduce me. I got a little act I do, see? And
Yeah, just ask Miss Bennell.
Solid. You just made yourself a deal. It's on this floor. Come on. I mean, it's my neck if you tell anybody.
Nobody.
All you show business guys are jumpy. Why is that? Everybody's jumpy. They read the papers, that's what's wrong. And them read the papers and get all looped up. Me, I only read downbeat. Got no nerves. This is it. Here you are, and don't forget my knockdown to Kenton.
Tomorrow. Fix it up first thing tomorrow.
You want me to shut that window?
No.
Well, okay. She said she'd be back in a few minutes. She said, Mañana is good enough for me.
Who's that?
Eddie. Eddie. Oh, Eddie, I can't believe it's really you.
Didn't he tell you outside? Didn't he tell you I was here?
Nobody told me anything. Eddie, how?
Never mind now. You're going to help me the rest of the way. That's why I came here.
Eddie, you're bleeding.
Take your hands off me.
Eddie, you're hurt bad. I know a doctor who can help you. I'll call
Stay
him.
away from the phone.
Eddie, I don't understand.
Never expected to see me again, did you? Nobody expected to see Eddie Sitko again. He's all through, isn't that it? Good old Eddie. Wrapped up in a murder rap, isn't that it, Kitty?
No, Eddie, no. That isn't it at all. You're wrong.
Well, I'm right about one thing. Kenyon sent me up there.
Eddie, I've got to get you out of here. They'll be looking for you everywhere. They'll come here, too.
Kenyon sent me there. Kenyon told the cops. That's where we're going.
Going? We're going? Going where, Eddie?
See Dallas Kenyon.
Well, that's where they'll be waiting for you. That's the first place they'll go.
They wouldn't stop you, Kitty. You could just drive right through the gate, an old friend.
Crazy.
And I'm right behind you on the floor of the car.
Look, Eddie, I hate him as much as you do. I hate him for what he did to you, but I haven't seen him or heard from him since the trial. I hate him, Eddie, but
You got lots of reasons to help me, huh?
But don't you see it wouldn't work? They'd search the car and they'd start shooting. Please.
I had lots of time to think, Kitty.
Please.
Well, I was waiting to be sent up. It's funny when I remembered.
Well, we could get away.
Something my ma used to say.
You and me.
Way back.
If you forgot
When I
Kenyon.
used to sit around on the steps talking
My
with
car's downstairs. If we started now, Eddie.
The only thing I do remember, besides gang fights and reform school, and the way they did things.
They wouldn't look for me, don't you see? They wouldn't look for me if I were to
There's
disappear.
a line from something. It said, there's a time to live and a time to die.
Eddie, please listen to me.
Kenyon's time, baby. My time. He sits in his big house and lets everybody else get dirty for him. He promises big payoffs. And then he pays like he paid me off.
Eddie.
Just to stand in front of him and watch him be scared. Like I've been scared. I want to see him die. It's his time.
Eddie, I love you. Things could be the way they once were if you forget him. Killing him won't do you any good. I love you. I love you. I love you. We could have each other again. I can get a doctor. He'll fix this. And then we can get away together, you and me. It's a big world. They don't catch everybody they're after. Hear what I'm saying, Eddie? Forget Dallas Kenyon. Forget about killing him. It's a miracle that you got away, but you are away. Don't let this destroy you, this hating him. There'll be nothing after that. We have time, darling. My darling, you and me, we have time.
Baby, Claire.
Yes, darling.
You love me.
Wherever you want me to go, Eddie.
You'll go anywhere with me.
Yes, darling, yes. Here, my car keys. Drive around the back and I'll pack. What's wrong?
You want me to leave you alone?
I don't understand.
You want me to leave you alone? You don't love me.
What?
You still love him.
No, Eddie, no. I told you I haven't seen him or heard from him since the trial. Not a word.
You still love him. You always loved him.
No, Eddie.
Right now, you wanted me out of here so you could call and turn me in, so you could save him.
You're not going to hurt him. We got rid of you once, and we'll get rid of you again.
You and Kenyon. You and Kenyon. You and Kenyon.
Eddie.
Hey in there. Hey. Hey, I... Oh. Help. Help, police.
I was in the Kenyon home that evening in reply to an urgent call. I became alarmed when a police cordon was established, but I never dreamed that it would come to what it did. Of course, this man Sitko had no way of knowing that I was in the house. I don't know how he got in without being seen. I was standing on the top of the landing in front of Mr. Kenyon's room when I first heard him in the hall below. He'd entered, I imagine, through the basement. He looked about to see if anyone would interfere with him. Then he saw me. He was in several places. The shoulder, chest, I believe. His face was extraordinary. A mask of pure hate. I stood and watched him as he came up.
You. Where is he?
Do you mean Mr. Kenyon?
Which room is it? Come on, move.
This is Mr. Kenyon's room.
Out of my way. Come on, get out of my way. The sheet. What's the sheet covering him up for?
I'm the undertaker. Mr. Kenyon died of a coronary attack an hour ago.
No! No! No!
He lurched across the room and ripped back the sheet covering the face. Then he turned and walked out of the room, the gun still in his hand. The police, meanwhile, had entered the home, and seeing them, he again became enraged and began firing.
Suspense, presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Elliot Lewis, will return in just a moment. Music for Suspense is composed by Lucian Morowick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. Concerto for Killer and Eyewitnesses was written for Suspense by Arthur Ross and E. Jack Newman and produced and transcribed by Elliot Lewis. In tonight's story, William Conrad was Jesse Crandall. Martha Wentworth was the old woman. Junius Matthews was the pawnbroker. Sidney Miller was the cab driver. Gil Stratton Jr. was the bellhop. Charlotte Lawrence played Kitty Bonnell, and Jay Novello played the undertaker. Others in the cast were Byron Kane and Jack Crucian.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for Autolite. And here again is the star of tonight's play, Concerto for Killer and Eyewitnesses, the producer-director of Suspense, Elliot Lewis.
Thank you very much, Harlow. Ladies and gentlemen, we of the Autolite family hope you enjoyed our show this evening. This is our last program of the season, but we'll be back on CBS Radio in September. We hope you'll join us. And in the meantime, we hope you'll give the Autolite family an opportunity to be of service to you.
Indeed we do, Elliot. And friends, you'll find members of the Autolite family from coast to coast and throughout the world.
Transcribed from Hollywood, Mutual presents Arch Oboler's Plays. The Mutual Broadcasting System has the pleasure of presenting the 17th broadcast of a special 26-week series of plays by radio playwright Arch Oboler. In this series, we hope to bring you dramas full of the excitement and the meaning of plays, told in relation to the expanding world in which we live. Tonight's play will be introduced by Arch Oboler.
This play is dedicated to our great Army Air Forces on their 38th birthday. It's not a play about heroes or bombs falling or aviation pioneers or generals. Ladies and gentlemen of the radio audience, gentlemen of the Army Air Forces, may I bring you Parade, played by members of the Armed Forces and with the leading role taken by a man who was notified of his winning of the Academy Award in the year 1941 while he was already a member of the Army Air Forces, Mr. Van Heflin.
But there's plenty of time.
Oh, no, please, hurry, Mama.
Yes, darling.
Will you remember me, Mama? Really?
Yes.
The next corner. There are many people in front. Will you lift me up, Mama, so I can see?
Yes.
Oh, Mommy, all the people.
It's all right, dear. We'll see.
Oh, please, Mama, please.
The 8th Air Force, and Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. Oh.
Pardon me. Could we get through?
Martha, I've got to see
This little girl, my daughter, she can't see. Please, could you please?
Please, I've got to see the parade.
Sure, lady. I'll fix it. One side here now. Let the little girl through. Come on. It won't take much room. Come on. There you are. Right up in front.
Thank you.
Thank you, officer.
Oh, don't mention it.
Oh, Mommy, the street's empty. Suppose they don't come.
They will. Just stand there and watch, Ellen. Just wait.
Yes, Mommy. Oh, Mommy, why don't they hurry?
Please, don't be so excited, darling.
Well, I can't help it, Mama.
She seems very eager.
I beg your pardon?
Your little girl. She seems very eager for the parade to begin.
Yes. She's been waiting for it a long time.
I suppose it'll seem very strange to the boys.
Strange? I'm afraid I don't know what...
Oh, well, I mean to say, for Air Force's men to be marching. That'll be quite strange.
It's their day.
Yes. My son's going to be marching.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. He flew for Chenault in Burma in the early days of the war.
That is wonderful.
Yes. He's done so much.
They all have.
Is your husband in the Air Forces?
Mama, look in the sky. Oh, Mama.
The bombers.
Mommy, the whole sky.
Yes.
But you said they'd be marching.
First the bombers, dear. They led the way.
Oh, Mama, they're beautiful.
I don't know. No.
Well, then where?
Look, Ellen, up the street.
Jeep! Look, Mama, Jeep!
No, dear, don't jump about. Just stand and watch.
Is he, Mama? Is he, Mama?
No, those are the boys who can't march.
Oh. Look, Mama, flags. Flags. Look at all the flags.
We interrupt the program in progress to bring you a special communique. It has just been announced officially from Guam that Japan has been hit with the second atomic bomb dropped on the city of Nagoya. We return you now to the program in progress.
Mama, listen. Mama, there they are. The flowers. Mommy, I'll ask them.
No, Ellen, please.
But, Mama.
No, not yet.
But I've got to ask
Those
them.
aren't the ones, dear, not those. They're just playing the drums. I don't know.
Mommy, can I ask them, can I?
Listen. Yes.
They're so happy, like she was. I'll ask them.
No, Ellen, no. Ellen, someone out there.
It's all right, Mama. I'll find him. When I find him, I'll come back. You wait there. I'll come back, Mama. Mister, please stop whistling and talk to me.
Hey, look, midget.
This ain't no place for infants.
Please, mister. Have you seen me, have you?
Look, little girl, I haven't seen anybody. I don't know anybody. All I'm doing is whistling and marching. I was nice and comfortable where I was, and I got to pull the cylinders out of a coffee grinder, and the CO says you're marching. So, I'm marching.
Oh, mister, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, stop pulling at me, will you? Go home, little girl. Go home.
What's the matter, Flatbush?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm marching along, and this midget starts pulling at me.
Where's the little girl? What do you want?
Have you seen him, please?
Seen who? Who are you looking for?
My father.
Father?
Yes, sir. He's a pilot. My mother told me.
Well, look, small fry. All these guys ain't pilots. We're the service boys. The guys on the ground who keep them flying.
No, you're first. You're marching first.
Look, small fry, you better get back on the sidewalk. You can't keep up with us.
Who is she, Sarge? Your girlfriend?
I'm kind of young, don't you, Sarge? All right, lay off, you guys. Lay off. She wants to know why we're first. Oh, it's this way, small fry. On account of this parade being in honor of the Air Forces, the hot shots are finally getting smart and letting us fellas who do all the real work march first. That's all there is to it. We're just guys with the tools, see? So if your papa's a pilot, for today at least, he'll be behind us, see? Behind us. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Say it again, boys. Make it loud, if not good. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sky. Hi, beautiful. Marching with us?
Please, mister. Have you seen him?
You seen who? Don't tell me you haven't been waiting just for me.
No, it's my father. I'm looking for my father.
Oh, your father, huh? He's supposed to be with us.
Yes. Please, have you seen him?
Oh, what's his name?
David, only Mother and I, we just call him Davy. Just Davy.
Uh-huh. But is he with the 12th? These characters are all with the 12th.
What's the matter, bitch? You want your autograph?
Hey, tell her how you drink Rommel. That always gets her.
Show her your medals, bitch. Tell her what Montgomery said to you when you captured Ben Gunn.
Leave
it to this. He's going to take them.
Hey, that's kind of young whale, isn't it, bitch? She's looking for her pop. He's supposed to be with us.
Oh, no, I wasn't even there.
Hey, listen, Curly, it isn't me. I've been in North Africa and Italy for the past few years. It isn't possible.
Please.
Cut it out, you jerks. You're confusing her. Now, listen, beautiful. Was your papa with the 12th? Don't you understand? Look, did he have anything like this on his shoulder? Was he based in North Africa or Italy?
Oh, no, he wasn't.
You'd better try the 8th behind us then. They got around much more than we did. So long, beautiful. So long, baby.
Are you the 8th?
Yes, of course. We're representing the 8th. Something you wanted?
Oh, yes. I'm so glad to meet you.
Look, you can't possibly keep up with our long legs. Do you want to ride on my shoulder?
Oh, no. Don't lift me up.
All right.
I'll walk. I can walk.
Really, there's no need to be frightened.
Oh, no, I'm not frightened.
Good. You know, I've got a young one like you back home.
Have you?
Well, he's a boy, but he's just about your age.
That's nice. Please, my father...
Blue eyes? You've got blue eyes, too. My son has blue eyes.
Mister, please, my
I'm
father...
getting leave next week. I'm going to see him again.
Mister, my father...
If he were here, he'd be all excited about the parade. And he'd be marching with me, too. I haven't seen him in so long. Here, you'd better let me carry him.
No. I've got to find my father.
Girl, come back. Don't run away. Don't run away.
As we go rolling, rolling home.
my legs were as long as yours, I'd like it too. My mother told me I'd wind up in the infantry. Oh, boy. Hey, this going to be a dry run? I mean, are they going to make you do this often? Listen, hero. Don't you like them pretty girls waving at you? I love it. Hey, Dixie, look what's coming your way. Huh? At 2 o'clock. Yeah, just go aside.
Well, who in
Mister, please.
Are you talking to me, honey?
Yes, sir. Are you real flyer?
That's your cue, Texas. Tell her about the cold illusion. Yeah, ask her if she's got a friend.
All right, fellas. Eyes front and no talking.
Well, how do you like that? The sergeant's pulling rank on us.
All right, honey. What's on your mind?
Well, have you seen me?
Well, you'll drop your head off your shoulders turning it around that way. Who in the Panhandle are you looking for?
My father.
Father?
Yes, sir.
Well, is he supposed to be with this group?
Well, my mother said I would find him today. She said it.
Is that a fact? Well, how would you like me to carry you? We're marching a little bit fast, you know.
No, sir. I'll walk, please.
Okay. Tell me about your father, honey.
Well, he's not as big as you.
Well, there's lots like that.
And he's got awful blue eyes.
Well, there's lots of us with blue eyes.
And he's very big and he's very beautiful.
Well, now, I tell you what I'll do. I'll lift you up so you can see all the boys with yourself. There. You see your pappy there?
No. No, I don't.
Sure, honey, your pappy's got more sense than to be in this outfit. You see, we're the boys who fought the Battle of the Aleutians. Froze up everything, including our brains.
Please, put me down.
Oh, sure. Just wanted to show you. There. There you are. You better find the colonel and ask him. Colonels know everything.
Please, mister. Please. Don't you understand me?
Sorry, Curly. We're the 7th of the 19th Bombardment Group. We're the boys that the Japs took on a little march down in the Philippines. Your daddy couldn't have been with us.
I've been trying to explain to you. I just gotta find you.
Sorry, Girlie. Nobody by the name of Davy was in the 480th anti-subgroup. Listen, Girlie, why don't you try down the line? There's lots more down the line. Lots more.
I knew every man Jack in the 13th, baby, and your daddy wasn't one of them. Try down the line.
Oh, but he said he'd be there. He said he would.
Hey, old man, they must have made a mistake, baby. There isn't a man by the name of Davy marching with this 49 fighter group. Maybe he's still back with the boys who left from New Guinea, from the Philippines.
What's the matter there, young one? Are you lost?
Huh? What did you say?
I say, are you lost? You're marching along crying at you. Now, where are you headed for?
I don't know.
Well, that's a detailed answer. Hey, you look pretty tired.
No.
All right. No. You like the marching?
No.
Oh. Well, then you are lost.
No.
Perhaps I don't understand English as well as I thought I did. I have been away for quite some time, but you seem to be saying nothing but no. Well, it's a great day, isn't it? Did you see those bombers before? Well, do you know who was in them? Flyers from the hospital. Yeah, they let them fly over first. Yeah, great day. Happy birthday. I'm alive. Well, come to think of it, where did you come from? I never thought when I agreed to lead my group down the main street that you'd happen to me. You're the quiet type, huh? Uh-oh. Look up. Look up there in the sky. Now, isn't that a great sight, though? That's the Air Transport Command. Yeah, they're the boys who deserve the cheers. They carried the war on their backs, and they're still carrying it to the Pacific. Ha! Well, now, listen to me, would you? I kind of sound like their public relations officer. Listen, young one, you look all worn out there now. How long have you been marching with us?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, how about a pickup? You hear me? How about a ride?
No.
I was just asking. Those short little legs of yours, I don't see how you do it. Now, tell me, why are you running alongside of me?
Well, I want to know.
You want to know what?
Are you a colonel?
Well, yes, but what?
Well, then you know.
Well, of course. Colonels know everything.
That's what he said.
What?
Then you know? You know?
Of course, didn't I just say so? Colonels know everything. Now, Francis, since you're so interested in this parade, I can tell you every group that's in it from the nose gunners down to the tail and Charlie. Well, I should be able to. I laid out the order of march. Well, first, there's a composite group of the boys of the ground to keep them flying. Well, maybe they're not all proud with that. Those hard guys. Yeah, look at them. Then the boys of the 12th who helped make a rummy out of Rommel. Then the 8th, the boys of the 8th who squatted out on those first bombing runs over Germany. Then the 91st, 303rd, and 305th, and 306th bomb groups. They were the first to fly into that hell and flak with the Focke-Wulf who were covering a still victorious Germany in those days. And then the boys of the 9th who were in there on D-Day, and they flew, and they bombed and strafed hour after hour to pave the way and save the lives of those poor guys who were slugging it out on the ground. And then the 389th and the 45th and the 93rd and the bomb groups of the 9th who went through that hell of Palestine. Good God, does the people still remember that bomb run over Palestine, those wonderful kids flying beyond the limit of human endurance to bomb those oil wells to keep the gasoline and oil out of the hands of those devil Nazis, and the 49th Fighter Group and the 5th over Okinawa and the 11th and the Solomons and the 13th fighting back the Japs. And dear God, they've been up there in that sky so long. If I could only bring them down to the ground and march them up and down like this, the dead ones too, in front of the people, so that they'd see that all the wonderful victories were won by flesh and blood, just kids who... Oh, look, young, you're going to have to forgive me. I'm kind of slack-happy. I was up for a week laying out this line of marching, and I'm afraid I've got it on my brain. Every one of those men marching up and down in my memory. Yeah, sure. I know all the answers. But here's the most important one. Just as soon as this march is over, I'm heading home. Yeah, and nothing will ever get me out of Cincinnati again because I helped win this ball game. And as far as I'm concerned, we're marching under the goalpost right now. And for me, the game is all over. So look, little one, if you're tired, how would you like to ride on the shoulders of the prize colonel of the winning team, huh? What's the matter? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. You haven't the slightest idea of what I was talking about.
You haven't told me.
I haven't told you what?
My father. Where's my father?
Father?
Well, he said you would know. Where is he?
Oh, well, now, look, I'm afraid I...
But you must know. They said you would. They said it.
But I don't...
You said it, too. You did. You said you knew everybody. Everybody here. Where's my father?
Well, now, wait just a second. Now, ease off here, will you? Tell me, is your father a flyer?
Yes, I'm telling you. Listen to me, I'm telling you. Davy, his name is Davy, and he's very big and beautiful, and he has blue eyes. He tells very funny stories, and he writes letters with beautiful words on it. Only he hasn't written any letters for a long, long time, and
Oh, I see.
he's got to be with you. He's just got to. In his last letter, my mother read it to me. He said even if he had to go away, he'd be with you.
I'm sorry. I don't...
Oh, don't you understand? I'm trying to tell you. He said, I will be back, Ellen. No matter what. And you'll find me when free men with wings march in victory. My mother says you're a free man, and you have wings, but my father had them, and you're marching, so... Oh, please. Where's my father?
All right, young man. All right.
I'm so tired. My father, please.
All right, now, come on. Come on, now. Up with you.
Where is he?
Now, don't cry. He's here.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, where? I've been looking everywhere.
All around you.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, look. Ahead and behind. Hear them marching?
Yes, but...
That's what your father said. Free men with wings marching. And he's with them, believe me. And you'll find him.
Will I?
Yes. Well, maybe not right away. It may take a little while. Now, will you be patient and wait that little while?
Why must I wait, Mr. Colonel?
Well, because you've got to give us a chance to finish the job that your father started. And what I said before about quitting as soon as this march was over, I didn't mean that quite. I guess my feet have been on the ground too long. So much to do yet. So very much. Yeah. Come on now. Lean back and rest. We'll take care of you.
You have just heard Van Heflin in Arch Oboler's play, Parade, dedicated to the 38th birthday of the Army Air Forces. Parade was based upon Mr. Oboler's pre-VE Day radio drama titled V-Day. Included in the cast with Mr. Van Heflin were Dawn Bender, Olive Deering, Jane Morgan, and members of the armed forces. The music was composed and conducted by Jack Meakin. Sound, Art Fulton and Bill James. Engineer, Misha Pels. Next week, we will bring you Mr. Oboler's play, History of a Mug. The leading player, one of radio's finest character actresses, Miss B. Benaderet. The program notes state that this is the case history of a very evil character, brought to you without kindness or censorship. This will be the 18th in a special series of plays written, directed, and produced by Arch Oboler. Mr. Van Heflin appeared on this program through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor musical Anchors Aweigh. To conclude tonight's presentation of Parade, Jack Meakin conducts the orchestra in a special number dedicated to the flyers of all nations. Arch Oboler's plays came to you from Hollywood, transcribed from its earlier Mutual broadcast. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
And now, stay tuned for the mystery program that is unique among all mystery programs. Because even when you know who is guilty, you always receive a startling surprise at the final curtain. In the Signal Oil program, The Whistler. Signal, the famous Go Farther gasoline, invites you to sit back and enjoy another strange story by The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
And now for the Signal Oil Company, The Whistler's strange story, Shakedown.
Riding up in the elevator, the attractive young woman, Jackie Mills, appeared deep in thought. She seemed hesitant, undecided, as she stepped into the corridor on the 9th floor, walked down to Suite 906. She paused outside the door. It's quite a decision, isn't it, Jackie? With your dangerous past seemingly behind you, you know the kind of activity Paul Jesson, the man inside, is about to suggest. But you're tired, aren't you? Tired of trying to make a living playing the piano in the club Chanticleer. Tired of being without the things one more transaction could bring you. You open the door, step inside.
Well, Jackie, so you decided to come.
You said you wanted to talk.
And you want to listen. I thought so, the minute I recognized you at the Club Chanticleer. Now sit down. Let me finish my pinhead.
Your what?
Oh, you wouldn't understand. It's my hobby. Precision craftsmanship and all that. I'm always engraving poems with this stylus, quotations from the Bible, odd sayings on the heads of pins.
Oh, sure.
Oh, really? There. Take a look through this jeweler's glass.
What? It is, and very clear. Judge not the men whose souls are on fire, for they are beyond good and evil. I like that.
The philosophy of criminals and poets.
Yes, isn't it?
Can I show you any more?
Well, how many do you have?
500 or 600. You see, I keep this little engraving outfit in my pocket, and every time I have a spare moment, out it comes.
Takes a steady hand. And nerve.
Easy, once you get onto it. I can engrave a sentence at 1/500th of an inch in just a few minutes.
Fascinating. But wasn't there something else you wanted to talk to me about?
Yes, there was. However, I thought we might go out for a drink.
I'm busy.
You have a reputation for being cold and unapproachable.
I find it pays.
Sometimes. Ever hear of the Vittori watch?
No.
One of the most famous watches ever made, perhaps the finest. Rose diamonds, platinum hands.
Never mind the details. What's it worth?
$100,000.
Is it registered?
Yes.
Count me out. Too risky.
What do you take me for, a fool? I have no intention of stealing the Vittori. The owner's going to give it to us. His name is Lindquist, Benjamin J. Lindquist.
I'm listening.
Lindquist is respectability itself in the social register, multimillionaire, about my age.
60?
Not quite.
Go on.
All right. Benjamin J. is deathly afraid of the slightest breath of scandal about his good name, and yet he can't keep away from a beautiful woman.
He's not the only one, I hear.
No, he isn't.
Oh. All right. Now, where do we go from here?
We'll rig a little trap for Benjamin J.
With me as the chief.
Something like that.
And if he bites?
We play him along, carefully. And, of course, the proceeds from the watch we divide equally.
50-50?
Sure.
Okay. But I won't settle for less.
You won't have to. Now, all you have to do is to drop into the Blue Angel Cafe this Friday by accident. Benjamin and I will be having cocktails.
The Blue Angel?
Right. But let me handle everything.
Everything, Paul? I thought you needed me.
I'm sure you'll know where to take over. You know, I think we practically have that watch now.
It's an interesting situation, isn't it, Jackie? The kind you've never been able to resist. And on Friday at the Blue Angel, under the high-sounding name of Jacqueline Carraway, the accidental meeting goes very well, though you do have difficulty keeping from laughing at Paul's introduction.
Miss Jacqueline Carraway, Benjamin Lindquist.
How do you do, Mr. Lindquist?
Miss Carraway? Jacqueline's almost like my own daughter, Ben.
Oh?
Yes, since her father died. I've kept a sharp eye on her. She was my dearest friend.
Where's she been all these years? How come I've never seen her before?
Well, until a few years ago, she was in school. Then she wanted to study art, so I let her go to Paris for a while. She just got back.
She stays at your place, I suppose, where you can keep your eye on her?
No, she has her own apartment, but I still keep my eye on her.
He sure does.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to continue to. Now, for one thing, I'm going to take you away from Ben here.
What's this?
Oh, sorry, old man. You're a friend, too. But I recognize that gleam in your eye.
A fine thing to say.
I might have something to say about this. Maybe there's a gleam in my eye.
Uh-huh. I thought so.
See here, Paul.
Good night, Ben. Pleasant chat. See you soon, hey? Coming, Jacqueline?
I'm afraid there's nothing else I can do. What's the big idea?
He's watching. I like to tow slowly for big fish, my dear. Don't worry. He'll call or stop by tomorrow, ask to take you to dinner. Only you don't go. Not without Sandy.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing.
But Paul does know, doesn't he, Jackie? You find that out the next day when Benjamin Lindquist contacts him, asked to take you both to dinner exactly as Paul predicted. And all through dinner you can see that he'd like to talk to you alone. Only Paul doesn't give him the opportunity. not that night or the next. But a week later at dinner, a planned phone call takes Paul Jessen away to meet an important client at the airport. You're finally alone with Ben Lindquist. And in a few minutes, you should know where you stand.
Well, I hope you'll forgive me saying I'm not going to miss Paul.
Well, you know how fathers are, even adopted fathers. They never believe you're grown up.
You seem grown up to me. I find you, quite a mature woman. Of course, you have a young man somewhere.
No, never got used to young men, I guess. They're so well scrubbed and silly, like a boy on his first day at school.
That's very good.
But it makes it lonely. Paul's friends are older, but they think they're robbing the cradle of Bridget. Look at them.
They're probably afraid of you and themselves.
Oh, it must be nice to be settled. Children, home, wife you love.
Looks nice on paper.
Oh?
Understand, I don't want to say anything against my wife Estelle, but...
But you've outgrown her.
You might say that, yes.
Oh, it happens so often.
I wondered if you... I mean, could a girl your age... No, it's quite impossible.
I'm afraid it is.
But why should it be, Jackie? All these evenings of seeing you...
Please, Mr. Lindquist. Ben, I'd better go home.
No. It's been so difficult getting a chance to even talk, and you do like me, I can tell.
So, yes, I do. Too much. We'd better quit while we both stay.
No, I'm going to see you again. Please?
All right. Friday?
I'll send my car for you.
To Clayton. On Nob Hill.
Good. Maybe we'd better not tell Paul.
Paul understands perfectly later that evening at your apartment, doesn't he, Jackie? The two of you enjoy a good laugh at the romantically inclined Benjamin Lindquist. And then Paul explains the next move.
You'll still take your time, Jackie. We wanted to leave his head, so you don't kiss him goodnight. You don't fall into his arms until he swears he loves you and promises to get rid of his dear wife Estelle.
Hi, Dad.
Glad you agree. Of course, I will admit I'm trying to keep you out of his reach as long as I can. I didn't just happen to choose you for this deal, and you know it.
Well, I'm beginning to respect you, Paul.
It isn't going to end here, Jackie. See, when all this is over, you and I are going to be much more than just good friends.
Oh, I'm flattered. But until we have the Vittori watch, let's concentrate on the business at hand. Shall we, Paul? John?
Friends, this is Marvin Miller. You folks who listen to the Whistler regularly have heard me get enthusiastic about Signal Ethyl, a premium grade of Signal's famous Go Farther gasoline. You've heard me say that the next best thing to a new car is any car of any age powered with Signal Ethyl. But tonight, friends, I'd just like to tell you why I personally use Signal Ethyl in my car. When I touch the starter, I want my motor to spring to life quick, like turning on a light. And Signal Ethyl gives me that kind of starting. When I step on the gas, I want to feel pickup that makes the back of the seat come up and push me forward. And Signal Ethyl gives me that kind of pickup. When I start up a hill, I want plenty of smooth power to take me over the top without shifting. And I can always count on Signal Ethyl for that. Well, there you have it in a nutshell, friends, the reasons why I like Signal Ethyl. And why I'm so sure you'll be just as enthusiastic as I am about Signal Ethyl once you try a tankful.
Well, Jackie, it's going well, isn't it? Ben Lindquist, infatuated as a schoolboy. And surprisingly, the slick, smooth Paul Jessen actually in love with you. When the time comes, you'll know how to turn both situations to your advantage, won't you? But for now, you know that you must concentrate on Benjamin J. Lindquist. You play it very warm and friendly during the next few weeks, but still manage to make Ben keep his distance. Then you and Paul decide that it's time to move in for the kill. And so one night after a quiet dinner at an outlying supper club, as you and Ben Lindquist are sitting in his car in front of your apartment.
Ben, where are we going? You and me?
I don't understand.
You don't know what I want to hear? What any woman wants to hear?
That I love you? Is that what you mean?
Is it what you mean?
Of course.
Oh, I'm glad. Ben, what do you intend to do about Estelle, your wife?
That's a big problem, Jackie.
Yes, it is. But you'll have to solve it. Or do you love me enough to want to marry me?
You know I do. And naturally, I expect to get a divorce, but you've got to give me some time, darling.
How much time?
I intend to see my lawyers about it, next week. Divorce is serious business.
So is love, Ben. You know, Ben, this way it isn't fair to any of us. Not to me, your wife, or even you.
Jackie, please. Come here.
You want to kiss me, don't you?
Yes.
It's all right, darling. It's all right. Because I'm going to say goodbye to you, Ben. Now.
Oh, Jackie.
Goodbye, Ben. I'm not going to see you anymore. I'm not going to see you.
Oh, Jackie. Jackie.
It was a perfect performance, wasn't it, Jackie? Just right, you tell yourself. And you avoid answering the telephone, which rings incessantly for the next few days. You and Paul want Benjamin Lindquist to put it down in black and white. And finally, he moves into the trap.
Special delivery letter from Miss Jacqueline Caraway. Sign here, please.
I'm looking for a Jacqueline Caraway. This is Western Union.
Yes?
I got some flowers for you in a telegram.
A registered special, ma'am. Sign here, please.
Thank you.
You've played your part well, haven't you, Jackie? And now it's time for the last scene before the final curtain, the shakedown. Paul is to handle this part, while you remain in your bedroom, supposedly suffering from a nervous breakdown. A few days later, Paul comes over and phones Benjamin Lindquist. Ben hurries over to your apartment.
Paul, I came as soon as I could. How is she?
Not very well. Come inside.
Is there anything I can do?
Yes, there is. Go in to see her, take her in your arms, and tell her you're going to marry her.
I hope you know I can't very well do that. I was just carried away. Do you understand these things, Paul?
Understand. Ben, this is despicable. You deliberately led her on, told her that you loved her, that you'd get a divorce and marry her.
Yes, I was wrong, but aren't we making too much of this?
Are we? Go in and look at her, and then tell me that.
Paul, she'll get over it. Find a nice young fellow. I'm, much too old for her.
You weren't too old a month ago. Nor are you now too old to be taught a lesson. I'm going to let your friends see those letters you wrote her, your business associates, the public if necessary. I'll make you a laughing stock.
No, you can't do that. There's my wife and my sons to consider. The scandal. Paul, you know I have positions of trust. Look, I'm a wealthy man. Perhaps
Jacqueline has never wanted for money. She was well provided for by her father. You don't seem to understand that. The girl's in love. She only wants you.
Paul, I can't go to Estelle about this. There was, another incident last year, you know.
I do indeed, because I know you. Oh, I warned Jackie. I warned you.
Well, perhaps some gift, a substantial token of my affection for her.
Well, I don't know. What could you possibly give her to make up for what you've done?
I'm prepared to be generous, Paul. Very generous.
But I told you, she doesn't need money.
I know, but there must be something special she wants that money can't buy. You've known her for years, Paul. Can't you think of anything?
Well, I don't know how much it would help. Ever since you showed her your jewelry collection, she's talked constantly about the Vittori watch. Well, that's the only thing I've ever heard her say she really wanted.
The Vittoria? No, I just can't give that up, Paul.
Well, Ben, you asked me. I told you.
But the Vittori, Paul. It's not its worth. I don't mind that.
Well, neither does Jackie, nor I. But it would mean so much to the girl. Can't you understand, Ben? Heaven knows why, but the girl is completely in love with you.
Yes, I know. Oh, I am sorry. Well, all right. I guess she deserves it. Vittori will be hers. I want her to have it. You tell her, Paul, a symbol of what she means to me. And
yes?
Perhaps that way, when you explain, I might see her again, huh?
Well, I'll do my best to explain.
Good. Good. Well, I'll run on now.
And the arrangement?
I'll send the watch over with the bill of sale, transfer papers, everything. The messenger will be here within an hour. Goodbye, Paul.
You heard it all, but you've won, haven't you, Jackie? The Vittori watch will soon be in your hands. And you and Paul enjoy your biggest laugh to date as he recounts Benjamin's sly hopefulness toward seeing you again when you're over your nervousness. And Paul takes you to dinner by way of celebration. You agree to meet at his office the following afternoon.
Well, Jackie, how do you feel?
Not even a hangover.
Wish I could say the same. Sit down. Well, anyway, the Vittori is safe and sound in the vaults.
Good. How soon do we sell it?
It'll take about 2 weeks to get top price.
I guess I can stand it that long. Oh, will it feel good to have money?
Do you still plan to split?
What do you mean?
Oh, I thought we might keep it in the family.
We might. Eventually.
What's the matter with immediately? We could get married in Vegas.
I'd like to have time to think it over.
What for?
Well, a girl needs time to make up her mind.
Now, stop it. You can't pull that act on me. I've watched you, remember. You don't sit around daydreaming, batting your eyes in innocence.
Paul, please, let's not...
I'm not going to be another Benjamin Lindquist, Becky. You're going to marry me, understand?
Since you're getting nasty, you might as well wake up to the fact that if I wanted to marry a man your age, I could have done it a long time ago.
Okay. Now we understand each other.
I hope so. You've got 2 weeks to sell the watch. Don't take any longer.
You're worried now, aren't you, Jackie? Because you're forced to watch Paul. On Friday, exactly 2 weeks later, you rush up to his office, determined to demand a settlement of your agreement.
Ninth floor.
You walk down the corridor to suite 906, Paul's suite. You open the door, enter. Inside, you see a man moving the furniture and listing each item.
Is Mr. Jessamine?
He'll back any minute.
May I ask why you're itemizing Mr. Jessamine's office furniture?
We're removing it, ma'am, early Monday morning. Jackson's put in storage. Well, this is pleasant. Say, if you're still here when Mr. Jessamine gets back, tell him we'll make the pickup first thing Monday.
Yes, I will. Paul?
Jackie, glad you're here. Hope you've forgotten our episode. I have great news. The Swedish collector has offered us $100,000 for the Vittori. He'll cable the money Monday.
On Monday?
Yes. Just drop over here at the office Monday afternoon.
I'll take the watch now.
But why?
This is a gun and it's needed.
But, Jackie...
I talked to the man from the moving company.
Oh.
Come on, Paul. Give me the watch.
I never argued with the gun. All right. It's in the vault.
Come on. We'll go and get it. Now, get in there and get the watch. And the ownership papers. I'll wait out here. And don't forget, I'll be waiting with a gun. Who's that?
I don't know.
We'll stay in there.
Don't shut the vault door. You don't know the combination. I might suffocate.
I'll scribble the combination down. What is it?
3 left, 10 right, 4 left.
3 left, 10 right, 4 left.
Yeah.
Now, Now, while I see who dropped in on us, just find the Victoria.
Oh, hello. I'll just be a minute.
What are you doing?
Building engineer sent me up to check the thermostat. Seems to be all right, though.
Well, I hope so. We're expecting an important client.
Don't worry. I'll be out of here in no time, man. Just a little fixing here. I'll be through in a few minutes.
You're relieved as the building maintenance man finally leaves, aren't you, Jackie? And you hurry back, open the heavy door to the vault again, still covering Paul with your gun. Paul stands just inside the vault, the Victoria watch in his hand.
Thank you, Paul. I'll take that.
Jackie, you know you can't finish this job without me.
Oh, stop it. I'm not trying to commit the perfect crime, Paul. Sooner or later, the police will trace me to this place, but it'll take a little time. And that's all I need. Just a little time to get out of the country.
Jackie, you can't get away with this.
Oh, can't I? Today's Friday. They won't open this vault until Monday. By that time, you won't be able to tell anybody anything.
Jackie!
And that'll give me 2 days to disappear from the face of the earth. You've been around me enough to know that I can do it. Goodbye, Paul. And thanks for everything.
Auto accidents due to skidding always increase during rainy weather when pavements are wet. So if even one of your tires has worn smooth and slippery, the time of your life to trade it for a new tire may be now before any more rain. And the tire buy of your life is definitely today's new Lee Super Deluxe tire. You see, for added traction on slippery pavement, Lee's new Super Deluxe tire has a wide 8-ribbed tread design that assures far quicker stopping, plus extra protection against skidding. And for added wear, the rugged cold rubber in Lee tires is toughened still further with patented Fill Black O. The result is such long life, these Husky Lee Super Deluxe tires actually cost less per mile. What's more, the generous trade-in allowance signal dealers are now offering for old tires reduces Lee's cost even further. And liberal credit terms are available at signal stations, so play safe with your life and your wallet. Find out now how little it will cost to protect yourself and your passengers with new Lee tires, whose double written guarantee is backed by 19,000 dealers throughout America, including all signal service stations.
Well, Jackie, luck has been with you all the way, hasn't it? And now you're about to realize the big payoff. The Victoria watch is legally yours. You decide to forget the Swedish buyer, take less, sell immediately to a famous local jewelry firm. You leave Paul's office and hurry over to the Terman Jewelry Company, one of San Francisco's largest firms. You grip your gloves nervously as you stand in front of the owner awaiting his decision. Outside, a cab is waiting to take you to the airport, where you can make connections to get out of the country.
Well, your ownership papers seem in order, miss, and $80,000 is their price.
Good. Then it's settled?
I don't see why not. I will, of course, have to examine the watch a little more carefully. You understand we can't risk buying a paste copy.
I understand.
Only takes a few minutes. Just sit down here. Put my tools and eyepiece. There we are. Now, diamonds are all right. Platinum hands all right. Now, quick look at the work. Very interesting.
Is anything the matter?
I'm not sure.
Not me, Mr. Terman?
Yes, I do. Mr. Hobie here is our store detective. I'm going to ask him to watch you while I call the police.
The police?
Yes, I'm going to send them over to the Hopkins building.
Oh, what about the watch? Why should you...
Well, this may merely be some practical joke, Mr. Calloway, but I'm afraid we'll have to check. You see, there's a new inscription inside here, signed by Paul Jessup.
Paul? His engraving.
It can't be read without this letter. But it says quite clearly, Hopkins Building, Suite 906. Woman locked me in vault. Name, Jackie Mills, alias Jackie Calloway. Signed, Fall Desert, February 1st, 1952.
Let that whistle be your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, each Sunday night at this same time. Meantime, Signal Oil Company and the friendly independent dealers who help you go farther with Signal gasoline hope you'll remember. Regardless of what gasoline you use, you'll enjoy more miles of happy driving if you drive at sensible speed, obey traffic regulations, and avoid taking chances. You may even save a life, possibly your own. Featured in tonight's story were Bill Foreman as the Whistler, Joe Gilbert, Edgar Barrier, Herb Butterfield, Britt Wood, and Pat McGeehan. The Whistler was produced and directed by George W. Allen, with story by Meyer Dolinsky, music by Wilbur Hatch, and was transmitted overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. The Whistler was entirely fictional, and all characters portrayed on The Whistler are also fictional. Any similarity of names or resemblance to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Remember to tune in at the same time next Sunday, when the Signal Oil Company will bring you another strange story by The Whistler. Marvin Miller speaking for the Signal Oil Company. Stay tuned now for our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, which follows immediately over most of these stations. This is the CBS Radio Network.
This is Orson Welles, speaking from London. The Black Museum. Here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, which houses Scotland Yard, is a warehouse of homicide, where everyday objects like a sugar bowl, an ashtray, a portable radio, all are touched by murder. There's a hammer. A hammer, that's a familiar object. Everybody's used one at some time. To drive a tack, or pull a nail, or loosen a window sash, or what have you. Nearly everybody has, at one time or another, taken part in a conversation like this.
Beg pardon, ma'am. Could you pass me my hammer?
Your hammer? Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're not going to use that hammer on the tiles over my fireplace.
No, ma'am. Not on the tiles over the fireplace.
Well, today, a hammer, an ordinary hammer, but with a very strange story attached to it, can be found in the Black Museum.
From the annals of the Criminal Investigation Department of the London Police, we bring you the dramatic stories of the crimes recorded by the objects in Scotland Yard's Gallery of Death, the Black Museum.
And here we are, the Black Museum. Scotland Yard's Museum of Murder. Yes, within this room is proof that anything and everything may be part of homicide. Yes, here lies death. Death entombed in glass. Death on endless shelves. Murder on exhibition. Tabulated, indexed, guarded, filed. Here's a length of wire. Wireless antenna, sleek, shining, coppery, designed to bring pleasure to the human ear. This wire missed the ear. Instead, it was wrapped around a soft, white neck. Twisted. Perfect garrote. Here's a cigarette lighter. It's dainty, jeweled, monogrammed, stolen from its proper owner, and then flicked, lighted, applied to no cigarette. The victim had a bad heart. Who was to know this? Question. Was it murder? Answer, yes. Here we are. It's the hammer. It's a claw hammer with two curved blades designed for pulling nails. It's heavy, well-balanced, perfect tool. One Saturday morning, it rested in a canvas bag. The owner rang a doorbell in Oxford.
Oh, dear.
Sorry, ma'am. Did I take you by surprise?
Well, yes. You see, I was expecting a friend of mine, and, well, to see a young man standing there when you're expecting an elderly lady...
Nothing to take amiss, ma'am. My card.
Oh, thank you. James Knight, house repairs while you wait. Oh, well, thank you, but there's nothing wrong with my house.
That's what everybody says. Only I don't mean the house itself. I mean the household. Furniture and the like. It's the little things gets people talking.
Well, I'm sure I don't need anything done.
Now, you take your doormat, ma'am, right there. Look, along the edges. The binding's going. You notice it now? A stitch in time, as the saying goes, and you'll not be needing a new mat in 6 months.
Well, I do declare. You're right.
Now, ma'am, if you'd just let me check your house, I'd be willing to bet I'd found a dozen little items. Cost you a few pence now, help me to earn my living, and save you pounds later. Can I come in, ma'am? Thank you.
You are a smooth talker, aren't you, young man?
Oh, I need to be in my business. Now, if you'd just show me your living room...
through the portiere, right there.
Yes, a very nice room. Blends with your personality, if I may say so. Now then, right to work. Tools down. Well, we'll just look about. I'll bet anything you want, I'll find a dozen things need fixing.
Now he's inside. He notes the room. He's well aware of the brass crucifix on the mantel shelf, the prissy draperies at the windows, the antimacassars on the mahogany-framed horsehair chairs. It's almost a museum.
Now, you take this chair, ma'am. The leg's loose. Bound to be. The glue dries out. The wood shrinks. You know.
Well, I never noticed.
You wouldn't, ma'am. Takes an expert's eye. A drop of glue today saves a new chair tomorrow. And they don't build furniture like this nowadays.
No, I dare say they don't. Oh, dear, it's my telephone.
No one to answer it?
Well, the girl who stays with me has gone to the country. Bank holiday weekend. She won't be back till Monday night.
Well, you just answer it. I'll be all right. Oh, beg pardon, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Could you pass me my hammer?
Your hammer? Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're not going to use that hammer on the tiles over my fireplace.
Oh, no, ma'am. Just tap them with the wooden handle. See if they're loose anywhere. Oh, you can trust me, ma'am. You just answer your telephone.
Oh, dear, yes, of course, the telephone. Hello? Why, Caroline.
Mrs. Golden, that's her name, answers the telephone. The young man in the living room, front room to Mrs. Golden, taps the tiles merrily, and then he stops. He looks around, looks at things, and quickly in a few things. He shuts the desk just as...
Oh, dear, this is a disappointment. Something's wrong with my friend's card. She can't come for me after all, and it is such a nice day.
Oh, that is too bad. But not too inconvenient. Now I can really get some work done.
Oh? You found a lot of things to repair?
About £50 worth.
But you said only a few pence today.
That was earlier. Now it's going to cost you £50 to get me out of this house.
I don't understand.
I think you do. You know, I know you had £50 in the mail yesterday. You told a couple of your girlfriends, and I heard about it. Now then, Grandma, hand it over.
You get out of here. Well, I'll call the police.
£50 here.
I will call.
Don't try anything. I'm between you and the phone now. Now pay up, Grandma, or I'll have to beat it out of you.
You wouldn't. You couldn't. No. Put the hammer away.
You heard me. I'm through asking now. Now, where's the money?
I didn't really get it. I was just boasting.
Cut it. Put down that vase.
I won't. Stay away from me. Keep away.
Put it down.
Throw it. Keep away.
Did it.
Keep away.
Fight with me, will you? You haven't had enough, have you? Try this one and this
Bank holiday in Oxford. No one due home until Monday evening. Someone tried late Sunday. Whoever it was kept trying, but only the bell sounded in the empty house. Empty? Was it filled with death? Monday morning, a man somewhat younger but not much than Mrs. Goldwyn parked his middle-class car in front of the house in Oxford. He had a worried expression on his face as he walked up the few steps and pressed the doorbell. Again he tried. No answer. He ran down the steps, around to the back, knocked on the back door. Nothing. Nothing but the sound of his own fists beating the thin panels. Now he is upset. He peers in at the kitchen window. Finally, he wraps his hand in his muffler, as he's seen them do in the movies, and punches a hole in the window. He reaches in, unlocks the window, lifts the sash, and climbs in. He walks through the house toward the front. Silence, save for his own strangely empty footsteps. At the portieres in the arch which lead to the living room, he stops.
Good heavens! What's this? It's blood! Operator, please, hurry! Put me through to Scotland Yard. There's been my sister's been murdered!
Well, that's how it comes, you know. First the bitter shock, the cry on the telephone, the hurried, incoherent report, and then the cars racing through the streets, pulling up, the men piling out, invading a once peaceful home.
Mrs. Golden was your sister, Mr. Bevan. That's right. I can't understand it, Inspector. I just can't.
I know how you must feel, and you want to help us all you can.
Of course.
Well, then, time is very often the essence. I'll have to ask you a few questions right away.
I'll try to answer them.
You told us you broke the back window yourself, right?
Yes, that's right. When she didn't answer the phone Sunday evening, I began to worry. I drove here this morning. The doors were locked and no one answered the bell. I broke in. I suppose I should have called a constable, but I didn't...
I understand. Tell me, Mr. Bevan, did your sister have any enemies?
Of course not.
Oh, pardon me, Inspector. We found this under the crucifix on the mantel. It's £50.
Thank you, Sergeant. Apparently robbery was the motive. Mr. Bevan, do you happen to know where your sister would get £50?
She had a small income. Perhaps the money was a dividend.
Preliminary medical report, Inspector.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Well, death occurred about 48 hours ago. Make it Saturday in the morning. We'll tell more after the autopsy.
Saturday. 2 days start on us. Go on, Doctor.
She was struck on the head by a blunt instrument several times. A hammer or something of that sort. But the fellow was taking no chances. Her carotid artery was severed by something very sharp. That's why the blood.
Whoever it was, well, it looked very professional, the way the place was ransacked. We've nothing much here. But, shall we have a go at it, Sergeant?
Well, they had a go at it, the inspector and the sergeant. There's nothing in the woman's house. Not even a smudged fingerprint. But, as Sergeant Marshall put it...
I've seen this sort of thing before. Looks like a house-to-house canvasser to me, Inspector.
It has that familiar feel about it. Routine, Sergeant.
Routine. Door to door, up and down the street. Questions.
Did a canvasser call here Saturday morning, ma'am? Leave a card or anything?
Do you remember anyone ringing the bell to leave a card, sir? Wanting to do repair work?
Thank you, miss. Yes, you've been quite helpful.
5 houses up the street, 5 down the street. And strangely enough, results.
A bit too careful, Mr. Knight.
Too careful, Inspector?
And too smart for himself. He left his card at all the houses on the street, and this one, in the middle, he picked up the card before he left Saturday morning. Foolish. Bound to attract attention to himself.
Knight. James Knight. It's familiar.
Joe Knowles. His favorite alias is James Knight.
Oh, I remember now, sir. 2 years in Dartmoor. Assault and battery on an elderly lady.
Right. Well, call for a car, Sergeant. We may as well check the address on this card.
Mr. Knight? Oh, yes. Used to live here.
I see. Used to live here.
Well, been packed up and gone these 2 months now. Quiet sort of fella. though I didn't cotton to him much.
Thank you, Mum. Thank you very much.
Welcome, I'm sure.
Not 2 days behind, Inspector. 2 months.
We're not doing too badly, Sergeant. We know when and how he got in. We know how he committed the crime, and we've got a good idea who he is. Not too badly, Sergeant.
Oh, not too badly. But the inspector forgot to mention the most important clue of all. The murder weapon. That selfsame hammer, which can be seen today in the Black Museum. It looked like a long haul. 2 months behind and no trace. Not a thing to place him in Oxford on the Saturday of bank holiday. The calling cards, true, but they might have been left any time. And one confused witness would make any jury doubt the exact pinpointing of the date. Still, the man had to be found. Scotland Yard began its long, steady, methodical routine.
Circulate Knight's description from his prison record. Have prints made of his picture. Somebody will remember him somewhere. They always do.
Somebody did. The landlord of a tavern in Oxford, half a mile from the house where death had struck that Saturday morning.
I remember that fella. Certainly do.
You're sure now?
Positive. Come in here, looked like he needed a drink. Took 2 whiskies, straight. One right after the other. Was carrying a tool bag of some kind, I think.
How long did he stay?
Just till a bus stopped outside. He threw the price on the bar and hopped the bus, real quick like.
Do you happen to know where the bus was headed?
Aylesbury. No other bus stops right outside that door.
A break in the luck. Aylesbury. The town was investigated, to all practical intents and purposes. And before long, Inspector Graham and Sergeant Marshall were in the lobby of a small rundown hotel talking with a combination desk clerk and telephone operator.
Do you remember Mr. Knight, Miss Marsh?
Oh, I do that. Of course, he's not the kind I'd pay much attention to. If I remember him all right. Is he in trouble?
Why do you ask?
Oh, well, sort of. Well, you know how it is. A man leaves here sudden-like, after being in and out for a couple of months. Then a couple of fellows come looking for him. Well, you wonder, that's all.
We're from Scotland Yard, miss.
Oh, then he is in trouble.
Maybe, maybe not. We'd like a look at his room.
I'll show you. Just one flight up. David, watch my board, I'm busy. This way, gentlemen.
An obliging girl, Miss Marsh. Complete with bass key, she ushered the men up the worn stairway along the dim hall. She fitted the key, swung open the door.
There you are, Inspector.
Thank you, miss.
Seem to have left a bit of baggage, Inspector.
So he has. This is Knight's, isn't it, miss?
Oh, didn't I mention it? Oh, he said he'd probably be back. So would I mind if he left his bag, even though he didn't want to keep on with the room rent? So I left it here, just in case he came back before we let the room.
Nice of you. Open it, Sergeant.
Not locked. Well, careless type of fellow.
A new hammer. Nothing much else. Look around, Sergeant. Look around.
Yes, sir. Oh, funny. This book, sir, in the bag. A dictionary.
I dare say Knight isn't a bookworm. It's odd. It's a dictionary. Look a bit further, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Anything familiar about this, Miss Marsh?
I was waiting for you to ask me, sir. It's mine. He borrowed it one night after he came in with the newspapers.
Oh, newspapers.
Oh, yes, sir. It was a great one for the papers, especially the Globe News. He'd be in a fury if we didn't save one for him at the desk.
I see. Did he do much writing up here?
Well, now that you mention it, sir, he did. Lots of letters, always to the papers. Do you suppose he wrote those Dear Editor things?
No, I doubt that, but I have a fair idea what he did write. Anything else, Sergeant?
Not a thing, sir. Clean as a whistle. Back to the yard, sir.
Back to the yard.
Odd, the man said. Odd indeed. A hammer which may be a murder weapon side by side with a dictionary. A possible killer writing letters to the editor. Or were they letters to the editor? Inspector tackled the hammer first.
Canvass every ironmonger and hardware dealer in Oxford. Find out which carries this make of hammer. Check their sales slips for that particular Saturday. Try to jog the salesman's memories. Find out where that hammer came from.
And then the dictionary, the newspapers, and the mail.
Ever look into the Globe News, Sergeant? Sometimes, sir. I'm not much of a crossword puzzle fan myself. Yes, Sergeant. Our Joe Knowles, alias James Knight, is obviously a crossword puzzle addict. I think we're due for a literary detail at the Globe News, with samples of our friend's handwriting from his prison record. Hop to it, Sergeant, and keep your eyes open.
It turned out to be quite a problem. 10,000 entries per week in the Globe News' puzzle contest were the average number, not a pleasant prospect. Not at all. Stolidly, the crew from the yard started to go through 10,000 puzzles, checking against the photostatic copies of James Knight's handwriting. The second morning of the job.
Inspector Graham here.
Sergeant Marshall, sir, at the newspaper.
You found something, Sergeant?
Note in the file, sir, in the morning mail. From Brighton. An entry in the latest contest. Address 912 Leader Street. Name of John Kinder. But there's no mistaking the handwriting.
They'll do it every time, won't they? Joe Knowles, James Knight, now John Kinder.
Yes, sir, I noticed. Always the same initials on the aliases. J.K. this time.
Bring the puzzle and the envelope. I'll have him picked up in Brighton. 912 Leader Street, you said?
912 Leader Street, Brighton, England. The order moved swiftly now on the teletype along the wires from the banks of the Thames across the North Downs to the South Downs, the famous resort city on the English Channel.
Open up in there. Quickly now, police.
No need for all the melodrama, sir. You were looking for me?
You're James Knight, also known as Joe Knowles and John Kinder.
You ought to know, officer.
You're wanted, Knight. You'll have to come along. I have to warn you, anything you say may be taken down and used in evidence against you.
You did a good job, Selden, picking him up so quickly.
Oh, he came along with surprising quietness, sir.
The fellow probably knows we've little to build a case on.
Hello, what's this?
Well, it looks like a hole in the floor, Sergeant.
I know, sir. But there's 4 more in the floor, sir. Square holes. Now, the floor is the ceiling of the room below.
Oh? Who lives below, Selden?
The landlady. Eccentric soul. We've warned her several times. She will keep her rent money in a jar on the mantelpiece.
So that's why he watched her.
That's your theory, Sergeant?
Well, you can see every corner of that room, sir, through these holes. And they're recent. Well, the wood's still fresh and white, Inspector.
Square holes. Why?
When you dig a hole with a chisel, Selden, you not only get a square hole, you also can keep the shavings from falling in the room below.
A chisel? Where would he have ditched it?
Possibly through the window when you knocked. A chisel, Selden, is sharp enough to cut other things beside wood. A carotid artery, for instance. So you prepared a statement, Knight?
Yes, Inspector. I've been informed of the charge you may lodge against me. I'm told it entails a murder in Oxford on the Saturday of the bank holiday.
That's correct.
You'll find my movements for that day accounted for in my statement. It may be troublesome locating some of my witnesses, but I doubt if you all have much difficulty.
You were in that street in Oxford, though?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. Trying to make an honest living, sir.
No doubt. Strange you failed to leave a card at Mrs. Golden's.
I rang several times on my way up and down the street. No answer.
And you didn't push it under the door?
No. Cards are expensive, Inspector. I prefer to explain my business first and leave a card if there's any interest. You're, having this taken down, aren't you, Inspector?
You got all this, Sergeant?
Oh, yes, sir.
And we'll enter Knight's statement in the record also.
Yes, sir.
I see no reason for holding me any longer. Do you, Inspector?
You'll be quite comfortable. No rent to pay, Knight. Just until we check your alibi and find your witnesses. After that, Knight, well, we'll see. All right, Sergeant. Take this man back.
The end of a trail. The suspect perfectly at ease, willing, even slightly over-willing. But they held him anyway. There were still some loose ends to tie up. One of those ends might be the key to the puzzle. One of those ends just might be the end of a hangman's noose.
We've got a report on the hammer, Inspector.
At last, eh? Where? How?
An ironmonger in Oxford sold a hammer from his stock. Here's a sample. To a fellow answering Knight's description on Bank Holiday Saturday, sir. The sales slip is dated and the salesman is prepared to identify. The slip also includes a chisel.
I see. Seems identical to the one we've had.
What's this label?
The salesman says it's all on this type. High-class steel forging.
Nothing in ours, is there?
Oh, no, sir.
Let's have a look in that valise we found the hammer in Adele's.
Yes, sir.
An empty traveling bag. Just lint. A few tiny crumbs of something. They might have been dried dough or...
Even breadcrumbs, Inspector.
Or paper, Sergeant. Would you pass me the sponge there, the one for sealing envelopes? I think there's enough water in the dish.
Gently now, Inspector. Moisten the tiny pellets of dough-like substance on the glass top of your desk. Gently now. Roll them back and forth. Loosen them. Spread them out on the desktop. Slowly. Gently. Patiently. And then...
We'd better have this photograph, Sergeant. I doubt if we can preserve them for the trial.
Yes, sir.
We've broken his alibi. Knight was in Oxford that day. He bought the hammer. High-class steel forging. He should have burnt this label, Sergeant, not merely crumbled it in this way. I do believe our careful Mr. Knight, our clever, cooperative Mr. Knight, is going to be hung, and very shortly at that.
Well, today, that hammer, complete with its proper label, can be seen in the Black Museum. Inspector Graham was right. The hammer, plus the label, did hang James Knight. His alibi was broken by the salesman in the hardware store in Oxford who sold Jim Knight that hammer on the Saturday Mrs. Golden died. Inspector Graham needn't have worried about his case, nor need you worry about the hammer in your kitchen drawer. If there is any moral to this story beyond the inevitable lesson that criminals are nearly always caught, it's this. Be careful whom you let in your house when you're alone to demonstrate a new gadget or even to fix your furniture. Your visitor might mean death. And now till we meet next time in the same place for another story about the Black Museum, I remain as always obediently yours.
A mysterious traveler.
This is the mysterious traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, and it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerve, and be comfortable, if you can. It is midnight, and an old automobile is driving along a narrow road through the woods. At a point where a second road, even narrower, crosses the first, the car stops.
Here you are, young fella. This is the professor's place.
Is it? All I can see is woods.
It's up that road about 50 yards. Look sharp and you can see the light shining between them two trees.
Huh? Oh, yes, I see it now. Then I guess I get out here. Would you hand me my bag, Sheriff Ramsey?
Right. Here you are.
Thanks. And that's $1 I owe you, right?
Yep, thank you. You know the professor, do you?
Yes. I was Professor Clark's laboratory assistant back in college 10 years ago.
Oh.
Why?
I was thinking maybe you could drop a hint to him.
A hint? What kind of a hint?
Well, that there's been some talk in town of running him and that man of his, that Barton fella, out of the county.
Running Professor Clark? Oh, you're not serious.
Yep. Of course, it's just talk. So far.
But what has anybody got against Professor Clark? There isn't a milder man in the world.
Well, maybe so, but folks has got wind of what happened at the state penitentiary over in Hillvale last year.
Sheriff, you're talking in riddles. What did happen?
The professor went over there when they hanged Richard, that hold-up killer.
Uh-huh.
And the warden gave the professor the murderer's brain. That's what happened.
Well, what of it? Professor Clark is a great authority on nerve and brain tissues. Maybe he wanted it for research purposes.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just telling you how folks are talking. They think he's keeping that brain in a big glass jar and making it grow.
That's perfectly ridiculous.
Well, they don't think so. They got the notion that brain is as big as a bull calf by now, and they're afraid someday it'll escape.
Sheriff, for a minute I was taking you seriously. A brain as big as a calf?
Oh, I'm not saying I ever believed it, but it'd be a good idea if the professor'd give folks the notion of what he's really doing in that laboratory of his, with that Barton fella to help him. Then maybe the talk would die down.
I understand. All right, Sheriff, I'll mention it to him.
Well, then I'll be getting on. Good night, young fella.
Good night, Sheriff.
Right up that road, about 50 yards. You can't miss it.
A few moments later, Dr. Richard Dale was knocking on the door of an old stone house almost hidden among the trees. A frail, white-haired old man answered the door. An old man who could hardly speak in his joy as he gripped Richard Dale's hand. He led the way down a long hall to a great room where strange equipment took up almost every inch of space. Retorts and electric furnaces, generators, batteries, and great glass vats. Dr. Dale stared around him in intense curiosity as Professor Clark helped him off with his hat and coat.
There. Now, sit down, Dick, my boy. Sit down and let me get a good look at you. So, you got my letter? Oh, yes, of course you did, or you wouldn't be here.
Thanks, Professor. Yes, I got your letter. It made me so curious I took the first train. You promised me a surprise. Well, is this it? This amazing laboratory?
No, my boy. I'll come to that in a moment after you've met Barton, my assistant.
Barton? I don't seem to know the name. Should I?
No, he's not famous yet. But he will be. He's been with me only a few months. I couldn't get along without him.
He certainly sounds interesting.
You'll like him, I'm sure you will. Barton?
Yes, Professor?
Dr. Dale has arrived. I want you to meet him.
Why, of course. How do you do, Dr. Dale? We've both of us been looking forward to your visit.
How do you do? Yes, the professor's letter made me so curious I couldn't stay away. I'm still wondering what the great surprise is he promised me.
You'll see, Dick, in just a minute.
My curiosity's at fever pitch.
Well, it's time to satisfy it. Barton, is Alpha making some coffee?
Yes, he started it when we heard the car.
Alpha? Who is he?
Our general man of all work.
Truly amazing fellow. Here he comes now.
Shall Alpha serve coffee?
Good heavens.
I said you'd be surprised, Dick.
He's not human. He's a machine. A robot.
Yes, my boy. An artificial man made from metal and synthetic brain tissue.
A machine man. But walking and talking.
He's not very pretty, but then the professor was mostly interested in making sure he'd worked.
He must weigh a ton.
No, only about 300 pounds. You see, Alpha's mostly aluminum and other light alloys. Inside his aluminum plates are some new batteries I devised, together with miles of fine silver wire and a dozen electric motors. And to give you only the highlights.
A good thing you did keep this for a surprise. If you had mentioned it in your letter, I don't think I would have believed you.
Shall Alpha serve coffee now?
Yes, Alpha. Put it on this table here, and pour a cup for Dr. Dale.
Alpha, do so.
Still can't make myself believe it.
Alpha poured coffee.
Go on, Dick. Take it.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Al, thank you.
Alpha, this is Dr. Dale, our guest. Any orders he gives are to be obeyed.
Alpha understands.
He looks clumsy, but he poured the coffee as well as a man could.
Yes, my boy, Alpha has capabilities you'd never suspect to look at him. Here, I'll show you. Alpha,
Alpha hears.
The fireplace needs more wood. Put on that big log there.
Alpha, do it. Alpha has log.
Now, break it in half.
Alpha, break it.
6-inch log. He's breaking it with his hands.
Alpha, put log on fire.
Good. We won't need you any more tonight, Alpha.
You can go back to your room now.
Alpha is going.
Be sure to switch off your batteries. They're going to need recharging tomorrow.
Alpha, understand.
That's the most incredible thing I ever saw.
You see, Dick, I tried to treat Alpha as if he were really a man. So I gave him a room of his own. Like any machine, he's completely inactive when his batteries have been switched off. But his brain continues to function. It's an artificial protoplasm that I spent 8 years creating. It's the only thing that makes him different from any other machine.
But it means Alpha can think. Think like a man.
A machine that can walk and talk and think.
Ah, but Alpha's not the only surprise I have for you, Dick.
He's not?
No, I have another one, even more astonishing. But you'll have to wait until morning to learn about that. Because now it's time we were both in bed.
I suppose you're right. It's after 1.
I know you must be tired. I'm getting old, so I'm going up to bed now, Dick. Barton will show you to your room.
Of course, Professor. I'll see you in the morning, then.
Yes. We'll have a long talk tomorrow. Good night.
Good night, Professor Clark.
Oh, Dr. Dale.
Yes, Barton?
Could we talk for a minute before I show you to your room?
Oh, yes, of course.
It occurs to me the professor forgot to tell you why he asked you here.
Oh, yes, that's true. And I've been so interested I forgot to ask.
It was his hope that you'd stay indefinitely and help us carry forward the work we've been doing here.
Stay indefinitely? Well, I have my own work.
Don't say no yet. Now, just think, Dr. Dale. Alpha is stronger and more rugged than a man. He needs no rest, no food. Yet he can do the work of 3 men. He can plow, reap, run machinery. Think how much drudgery a million like him could lift from mankind's shoulders.
Yes, that's true.
And already Alpha is technically obsolete. Professor Clark has the blueprints for a new machine man, as superior to Alpha as an airplane is to a bicycle. We want you to help us build them.
Well, I'm certainly tempted. Perhaps I could arrange.
Ah, excellent. And now there's only one more thing I want to tell you.
Yes? What is it?
It's about Alpha. You must help me persuade the professor to dismantle him.
Dismantle him? Why?
He has become dangerous.
I don't understand.
Because he was the first successful machine man that the professor built. He is imperfect in many ways. He's not completely reliable. I'm afraid that someday he may escape from the house and so do some damage that would seriously upset our plans.
Yes, that could easily happen.
The local inhabitants are unfriendly enough as it is.
I know. Sheriff Ramsey was warning me about that tonight. All right, I'll speak to Professor Clark about it tomorrow.
Ah, good. Then I'll show you to your room now, if you wish.
Yes. I am sleepy.
If you'll just come this way.
His mind in a whirl of amazement, Dr. Dale retired and finally fell into an uneasy sleep. How long he had slept, he did not know. When abruptly he woke with a scream ringing in his ears.
Help! Dick! Help! Dick!
The cry came from downstairs. Dr. Dale leaped from his bed and raced down to the lower floor.
Dick! Help! Help me!
In the lower hall, he found Barton hammering on the heavy door of the laboratory.
Professor Clark! Professor Clark, what's wrong?
What's happened?
It's the professor. I heard him call for help.
Yes, so did I. It woke me up.
The door's locked. He must be in there, but there's no sound in there now.
Well, we've got to break the door down.
Yes. Put your shoulder beside mine.
Right. You ready?
Ready.
And sharp. Professor Clark, where are
night. Professor Clark. He's not here.
Yes. Here he is, lying on the floor beside the window. He's been murdered.
It was Alpha. It must have been. No one else could have done it.
But where is Alpha?
The window. It's open. He went out that day.
We've got to go after him.
I'm afraid it's hopeless. At night in these woods, we couldn't possibly find him.
No, you're right.
It'll be morning soon. Then I think he'll come back. He knows that he can only go a few more hours before his batteries must be recharged.
Then we can capture him and destroy him. But, Barton, why did he kill the man who created it?
The professor must have come down to the laboratory for some reason. Occasionally, when he couldn't sleep, he would do that. He may have decided to make some more tests of Alpha.
Yes, but that doesn't explain
During the test, something must have occurred. When Alpha returns, we can find out.
Poor Professor Clark. Well, we'll have to notify the police.
There's only the sheriff. In any case, I think we should wait till morning and then report the professor's death as an accident.
An accident?
Yes. If the authorities learn the truth, our research may be stopped. And when Professor Clark has achieved so much, can we let it go for nothing?
No, of course not.
Dr. Dale, we must carry on his work for him.
Yes, that's what he would want.
Then you will help me continue it? You'll stay?
Yes. Yes, I'll stay.
Greatly upset by the tragedy, Dr. Dale returned to bed and at last fell into an uneasy sleep, haunted by dreams of Alpha, the metal monster Professor Clark had created. When he awoke, the sun was shining, and he could hear Barton moving about downstairs. He dressed and went down to find Barton getting breakfast ready.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Dale.
Good morning, Barton. Any sign of Alpha?
Not yet.
Well, we ought to start a search for him.
But first, I think you ought to eat breakfast. Everything's ready.
Oh, all right. Some coffee anyway.
Here. Sit here.
Thank you. I didn't know you were a cook as well as a lab assistant, Barton.
I've learned to do a lot of things since I came here.
Aren't you going to eat, too?
I'm not hungry. I seldom am. But I thought that while you ate, I might outline some of the problems facing us.
That's a good idea.
You see, though Alpha's brain is of synthetic protoplasm, it is not completely artificial.
I was wondering about that. Sheriff Ramsey mentioned that the professor secured a human brain from
an executed killer, yes. The professor found that to give life to his artificial brain tissue, it was necessary to add a small amount of tissue from a real brain.
I see. If the real tissue gave life to the rest. Of course.
Yes, but in this instance, it may have tainted Alpha's brain with the murderous impulse of a killer.
Yes, that sounds plausible.
So our first problem will be to obtain untainted brain tissues to blend with the artificial tissues we will make according to the professor's formula.
That should give us no trouble. I can get what we need through the research laboratories where I'm connected.
Then that solves our worst problem. The rest will be matters of detail. Fortunately, there's enough equipment here to build a dozen or so robots.
Like Alpha, you mean?
No. The far more advanced type Professor Clark was perfecting. And now, if you've finished, I have something to show you.
Yes, I'm through. I don't feel much like eating after last night.
Then come with me to the laboratory, and I'll show you the second surprise that Professor Clark had in store for you. Here we are. Now, what I'm going to show you is in this box.
Another robot?
Yes. A second mechanical man the professor built a few months ago. This one, though, was a failure.
You mean it wouldn't work?
It worked too well.
I don't follow.
It was too intelligent. Professor Clark called it Beta. And Beta's brain power was greater than that of any human scientist who ever lived. But Beta was insane.
Good Lord.
He represented, however, a tremendous technical advance. Look.
It looks exactly like a human being.
Yes. Professor Clark used me for a model when he built Beta.
It's an excellent likeness.
Touch the face, Doctor.
All right. It feels smooth and rubbery with a hard surface underneath.
The surface is a new plastic Professor Clark developed with which he could imitate exactly the appearance of human skin. Underneath is an aluminum body on which the plastic was baked.
I see.
Beta's hair, eyes, and teeth are all artificial, too. But he walked and talked and acted so much like a human being that no man alive could have guessed his secret.
No, he would have fooled me completely. And you say he was insane?
From the human viewpoint, yes. He considered himself superior to the human race. With his enormous brain power, he intended to make himself ruler of the world.
You're joking.
Not in the least. That was why Professor Clark destroyed him just in time. He had made plans to take over this laboratory and construct dozens of mechanical men like himself. And then, with their help, he was going to enslave all mankind.
Boy, if that could happen once, it might happen again. I don't believe we should continue Professor Clark's work after all.
Oh, there's no danger now, Doctor. You see, Beta also had a brain which contained tissues taken from that of the condemned murderer, but we will select the brain tissues from the highest types that are available.
Yes, but even so,
then, Doctor, we will produce mechanical men, tireless, indestructible, who will be mankind's willing servants, who will solve for man problems he can't solve for himself.
I wonder. In any case, we must proceed with the utmost caution.
Of course. Doctor, listen.
Someone's come into the house.
It's Alpha. He's come back.
Alpha, we may need a weapon, Barton.
No, I can control him. Alpha. Alpha, come here.
Alpha comes.
Alpha, you killed Professor Clark. Why did you do it?
Professor said he would destroy Alpha.
And you killed him because of that?
Alpha does not want to be destroyed.
But you're just a machine. What difference does it make to you?
Alpha is machine that lives. Alpha is stronger than you. Alpha is better than you.
Alpha, be quiet.
We must destroy Alpha at once.
You are right, Doctor. Do you hear, Alpha? You are to be punished.
Alpha here.
But first, we want to know where you've been. Did anyone see you?
Men saw Alpha.
Men saw you? What do you mean?
2 men driving automobiles saw him.
And what did they do?
They tried to hit Alpha with automobiles.
And then what happened?
Alpha stopped automobile. Alpha killed 1 man.
Killed him?
Other man ran off in woods. Alpha could not find him. Alpha came back.
We can't keep this a secret. No matter what happens, we must notify the authorities at once.
No, wait, let me think. We can't...
The bell, there's someone at the door.
I'll see who it is. You stay here.
But what about Alpha?
I'll switch off his batteries, then he can't move. There. Now I'll see who's at the door.
Dr. Dale waited while Barton went to the door. He heard the door open and recognized the excited voice of Sheriff Ramsey speaking. Then a moment later, Barton came back into the laboratory, followed by the sheriff, who held a revolver in his hand.
But, Sheriff, if you'd only let me explain...
Never mind that. You're coming with me, both of you.
Dr. Dale, perhaps you can reason with the sheriff. He insists that we're under arrest.
Yes, and I'm taking you to the lockup. The professor, too. Where is he?
Professor Clark is dead, Sheriff.
Dead?
He was killed last night when an experiment he was engaged in went wrong.
An experiment, huh? I suppose it was an experiment that crushed the life out of him. It crushed the life out of Jed Thompson an hour ago down the road and scared Fred Jennings so bad all he can do is jabber about monsters.
True, the thing that killed both the professor and Thompson is an experiment. It's standing there behind...
A machine. A man made out of machinery.
Don't be alarmed, Sheriff. It's perfectly harmless now. It is a machine man which Professor Clark built. Unfortunately, it got out of control.
I don't believe it.
I don't blame you, Sheriff, but that's the truth.
I think I can convince you.
What are you doing? Stand still.
I'm simply going to switch Alpha on. There. Now he can move and speak as well as you and me.
That thing talk? You're lying. You're up to something.
Alpha, will you tell the sheriff that it was you who killed Mr. Thompson?
Alpha killed him. He tried to hit Alpha with car.
So that's what the professor was up to all this time.
building that thing.
Now, Sheriff, surely you realize that we are not murderers.
Maybe not, but you'll come to jail just the same. You're partly responsible anyhow.
But, Sheriff...
Anyway, for your own protection, there's a mob on its way out here from town. They're going to burn this place down. I got to put you in jail for your own safety. They're ready to lynch you right now.
Burn the place down?
That's what I said. So turn that machine thing off and come along. We ain't got much time.
No. All this equipment, machinery, the professor's notes, they must not be destroyed. We must stop them.
Yes, Sheriff. The loss of science...
Never mind science. You got your own skins to worry about. That mob means business. Let's get started.
I'm afraid we can't do that, Sheriff.
You can't. I got a 6-shooter here that says different.
We have no choice, partner.
Oh, yes, we have. Alpha, take the gun away from this man.
What are you doing? Stop him! Stop him, or else... Stop! Let me go! Stop him!
Too late. Too late, Dr. Dale. He's dead.
Alpha crushed him.
Yes, Dr. Dale.
Now, you're a murderer.
In a good cause. The life of one man or of a dozen men cannot stand in my way.
You don't expect me to keep silent about this, do you?
I think you will. Alpha. Alpha.
He doesn't answer.
His batteries have gone dead. That last burst of energy must have drained them dry. But it makes no difference.
I think it does. A big difference. There, see this? It's Sheriff Ramsey's revolver with 3 bullets still in it. Now put your hand up.
I must explain something to you, Doctor.
You can talk, but if you move, I'll shoot.
I only want to say that nothing is going to interfere with my plan to build more of the improved form of robots that Professor Clark perfected before his death. Robots who look and act so much like men, no one can detect them.
They'll never be built. I intend to destroy all of Professor Clark's notes.
They will be built by me. I shall build 10, 100, 1,000. Then I shall lead them with a superior intelligence to the mastery of the world.
You're mad. Of course I should have...
No, Doctor, that's not the answer. I shall tell you the truth. And then you must die.
Stand still or I'll shoot.
You remember last night when the professor said he had another surprise for you? An even greater surprise than Alpha?
Yes.
That surprise, Doctor, was Beta, the second robot. So perfect it looked like a man, but so intelligent that human beings were as children in comparison.
But Beta was destroyed.
No, Doctor, Beta was not destroyed. But you must be destroyed.
Stand back. Stand back, I say. All right, then I'll shoot.
And now, Doctor, your bullets are gone.
You aren't even hurt.
Bullets cannot harm me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Beta, the second robot, was not destroyed.
But I saw him.
What you saw was only an initial attempt that failed. The real Beta still exists. You see, Dr. Dale, I am Beta.
You?
Yes. I, too, am a mechanical man. And now, you must die.
No. No, stay away from me. Stay away!
This is the mysterious traveler again. What happened to Dr. Dale? Why, he's still alive, but of course under observation in a hospital. In fact, it was he who told me the story. You see, the mob that was coming to burn down the house arrived just in time to save him. But Barton, or Beta as he called himself, escaped. He could hardly have survived all those bullets if he had been human, could he? I wonder if the story is true. Do you suppose that somewhere a strange individual who is really a robot is making other mechanical men, preparing to carry out Barton's plan to rule the world? Oh, you haven't time to talk about it now. You're getting off here. Well, I'm sorry. But perhaps we'll meet again soon. I take this same train every week at this same time.
You just heard Chapter 19 of The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying, brought to you each week by station WOR. In tonight's story, Beware of Tomorrow, Will Hare played Dr. Dale, and Don Randolph played Barton. Also featured were Maurice Tarplin and Philip Clark. The Mysterious Traveler, written by Bob Arthur and David Cogan, is directed by Jock McGregor. Original music was played by Doc Whipple. Listen next week to a tale titled The Accusing Corpse. Another tale of the Mysterious Traveler. The Mysterious Traveler is presented over WOR Mutual every Sunday at 7 over most of these stations. This is Mutual.
Dr. Weird.
Good evening. Come in, won't you? Why, what's the matter? You seem a bit pale. Have you been working too hard? Possibly a story might help relax you. A story, say, about a man who could read other men's minds and who felt sure his strange power would make him tremendously wealthy. Call his story The Man Who Knew Everything. My story, The Man Who Knew Everything, begins in the Crystal Club, a lavish nightclub. A small man, very old, clad in robes of yellow silk, moves from table to table. He carries a small crystal ball into which he peers as he tells diners their most secret thoughts. He calls himself Randor the Mystic. Watching him from the doorway are three men: Nick Thompson, owner of the club, Rocky Brogan, his bodyguard, and Jerry Fenton, the press agent who handles Randor's affairs.
It's really an act Randor has there, Jerry. What I'd like to know is it a gag or is it on the level?
It's on the level, all right. You really can look inside your mind, Nick.
And I'm staying away from him. I don't want anybody reading my mind. I know too much about myself already.
And if he's on the level, what's he doing working in a nightclub act? Why doesn't he use his little trick to clean up big?
He says it's dangerous to use powers like that for yourself. If you ask me, I think he's bugs.
Yeah, I'll say. Imagine being able to read the combination of a bank vault from the cashier's mind. Gee.
It would be handy. Nick, I gotta do an errand. If Randor asks for me, tell him I'll be back before the midnight show, will you?
Slipping from the club, Jerry Fenton, a few minutes later, let himself into the small apartment where his employer, Randor, lived alone. Taking a sheaf of papers from a desk, he settled down to read. An hour passed, and then, unexpectedly, he heard the door open.
Randor.
Yes, my friend. I felt unwell. My heart pained me, so I returned to my home to find you reading my secret document.
Well, so what?
You have pried into my secrets. I can see it clearly in your mind. This is not the first time.
All right, then I have. And listen, you nightclub swami. I've found out how you do your mind-reading stunt. That crystal ball you carry's got nothing to do with it. It's those cough drops you're always chewing. They're doped.
True. They are doped with a specialist Indian drug, which keys up the brain so that it can receive the delicate thought waves from another mind.
Yeah, and I know how to prepare those cough drops of yours. It's a very neat trick, being able to hear another man's thoughts right inside your own skull. I can do it myself now.
And you intend to use your knowledge for evil? No, it must not be. Swear to me you will forget what you know, or else...
Or else what?
Or else you must die.
Yeah, so that's how it is, huh? Well, two can play at that game.
What are you doing?
If one of us has got to go, it won't be me. This cushion, Randor.
Eh?
If I hold it over your face for a minute, when they find you, they'll think your ticker gave out on you.
No, you dare not. This power you have stolen, it will turn on you. Men's thoughts are not to be trusted. You...
Sorry, Randor. But nothing's stopping me now. Nothing, do you hear?
As Jerry Fenton had foretold, the death of Randor the Mystic was ascribed to natural causes. But for several days, Fenton stayed in seclusion, studying the notes he had stolen from the dead man. Then, one evening, he dropped in on Nick Thompson and his bodyguard, Rocky Brogan, in Thompson's office.
Hello, Jerry. Sit down. Thanks. Nick, I've decided to take over the Crystal Club and your little numbers racket.
Yep. Hey, what kind of a gag is it?
It's no gag. You see, Nick, I happen to know you're wanted for murder in California.
How'd you know that?
I know. That's why you're turning the club and your organization over to me.
Rocky.
Yeah, boss?
Get out your gun. We're taking care of this rat now.
I hate to tell you this, boss, but I'm working for Jerry now.
You what? Yeah. You see, I know things about Rocky, too. He's decided it's smart to stick by me.
That's right, boss. He knows too much about me.
Well, in that case...
Rocky.
All right, boss?
No.
Well, I took care of him.
Yeah. Now I'm boss around here, understand?
Oh, yeah, boss.
And, Rocky, I'm on my way. In a year, I'll own this town.
Dr. Weir, the first part of your story about Jerry makes me wonder. Do you know anything about reading minds?
A little. For instance, right now, I can see you have something on your mind about hats. The Adam hats.
Doctor, how did you guess? I was just thinking that Jerry, or any man for that matter, would feel as if he owned the town if he owned an atom. And it doesn't take mind reading to see why. One look at the flare and dash of atom hats will make any man glow with enthusiasm. A man who knows quality appreciates such atom features as the fine tailoring, the lustrous all-fur felt, the distinctive styles, and the softly harmonized shades. And there's more to an atom than just meets the eye. Put one on and feel how comfortably it fits, as if it were made expressly for you. What's more, an atom keeps its fine shape. You'll always feel confident of your appearance when you wear an atom hat. Now, our mastermind, Dr. Weir.
And now to continue my story, the man who knew everything. It is a day or so later, and Jerry Fenton, confident now of his ability to accomplish anything he desires by being able to read minds, is closeted with Rocky Brogan.
All right, now, Rocky, we're ready to get underway.
What are you figuring on, boss?
I want to get a bankroll together. A big bankroll. So I'm going to start planning a few really big jobs to get quick money.
If I can make a suggestion, boss. There's a job I've been kind of thinking about for a long time.
All right, what is it?
It's a payroll job. The S&J company across the river. Now, every Friday, they send an armored truck to the bank here in town, pick up $100,000 and cart it back. Now, if we could pick off that truck some nice, safe way...
$100,000. Yeah, that'd be a swell beginning. And tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow night, that payroll is going to be ours.
The next morning, Fenton, on a pretext, interviewed the treasurer of the S&J Manufacturing Company. And as they talked of harmless matters, Fenton's keyed-up senses plucked from the other's mind facts so astounding that Fenton was still laughing to himself when he returned to the Crystal Club.
Well, Rocky, it's all set. We're going to pick up that payroll this afternoon.
That's fast works. Boss, where'll we knock off the armored car?
We're not even going to bother with that armored car. It's just a bluff. The payroll is really delivered in an old truck marked Tropical Towel Supply Company.
You're kidding.
An hour after the armored car leaves, the laundry truck drives up at the rear of the bank. The driver carries in a bundle of clean towels and comes out with a bag of dirty ones. The payroll is hidden among the dirty towels.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Follow that truck and pick it up. When it reaches the warehouse district, take it to our own garage. Get the payroll, then get rid of the truck and the driver. After that, report back to me.
It'll be like taking candy from a baby. Okay, boss. I'm on my way.
afternoon, as Fenton waited for Rocky Brogan's return, he let himself daydream a little.
$100,000 delivered in a bag of dirty towels. And I learned about it as easily as if that fool treasurer had told me in so many words. I will own this town in a year. Why not? There's no one to stop. Yeah, who is it?
Hey, boss, Rocky.
Come in, Rocky.
Boss, it's the driver of the towel supply truck.
Brian, what'd you bring him here for?
I tell you, you're making a mistake, a bad mistake. Yeah, we took the laundry truck smooth as ice cream, boss, and we got it in our garage. But we can't find the payroll.
You can't? Why not?
Because there isn't any payroll, that's why. Yeah, the boys are wondering maybe if you didn't make a mistake, boss.
I haven't made a mistake. Rocky, step outside. I'll find out what that payroll is.
Okay, boss. Call me when you made him call. I don't know what your game is, but you're making a terrible mistake, mister. Really,
I can't be wrong. I know it. Pardon me, I need a cough drop. There we are. Now we'll get the truth.
But I told you the truth already.
Be quiet. So, the bag with a payroll in it is hidden in a secret compartment under the truck body.
No, you can't know that. Nobody in the world knows that but me.
But I do know it now.
No, you won't get away with it. I'll stop you. I'll stop you with this.
A gun?
Yeah, and you're going to let me go or I'll shoot. I'll shoot to kill.
Then shoot, why don't you? I'll tell you why you don't shoot. Because the gun's empty and you know it.
It's not true. Stay away from me. I'll pull the trigger. I will.
Go ahead and pull it. You see, the bluff is no good. I know the gun is empty just as well as you do. In fact, I know it's empty because you do. Now, give it to me.
No, stand back. I'll shoot.
Why, you shot me. The gun wasn't empty. But I thought, you thought that...
He's dead. I killed him. The gun was loaded. I thought it was empty. I was just bluffing. All along, I thought it was empty.
So that was what Randor the Mystic meant when he said men's thoughts couldn't be trusted. When a man doesn't even know his own gun is loaded, what good is it going to do to read his mind? Poor Jerry. Perhaps his fate will be a lesson to you. Don't depend on anyone else to do your thinking for you, because sometimes... Oh, you have to go. Perhaps you'll drop in again soon. Just look for the house on the other side of the cemetery. The house of Dr. Weir.